Now scream queen with a million smiles. Catching all the love from around the world. Whoa. Hey Shelly, won't you shine your light? Shine your light in the darkest times. You make it bright, bright. Live stream dreams, we're all by your side, by your side. Keep on doing what you do, girl. You're one of a kind, one of a kind. Shelly, Shelly, you're our live stream star, star. Keep rocking your show, no matter where you are. From the block, Jersey girl with a mouth that won't stop, no, no. Sassy, and I'm not afraid to show it. Gonna spill the tea, you better be ready for it. I speak my mind, no filter inside. Shelly's in the house, talking trash and truth, no sugar-coated grooves. Something to lose. Shelly's in the house, time to break the rules. From halls to the city, I'm the queen of cool. You can handle the heat, then take the high. Shelly's in the house, drop the mic. Hey, Shelly in the house tonight. Living it up, feeling so right. Yeah. Meet a Jersey girl, she's got that style. Live stream queen with a million smiles. And she know the love from around the world. Hey Shelly, won't you shine your light? It's time to make you bright. Live stream dreams, we're the wayside. You're one of a kind. Shelly, Shelly, you're a live stream star. Keep rocking the show no matter where you are.
Hello, hello. Happy Thursday, everybody. I'm Shelly, your mouthy mama with Talking Trash and Truth, and this is Coffee and Chaos with T3. That's me. It is 12:03 p.m. on January 23rd, 2025, and I am coming to you from Pennsylvania, from the Allegheny Mountains of Pennsylvania. Let's see. I haven't looked up the temperature today because I didn't care. It's just been cold, 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 cold. Snow, cold, a little more snow. Look at that. Oh my God, it's practically summer. It's 20 degrees outside, y'all. I'm so excited. And no snow until tonight. I mean, really? Really? And then just another 3 days of snow. So far, it has it has not snowed a total of 2 days since Christmas. And it wasn't even 2 whole days. It was just like during the day, it kind of took a break. And then at night, it was like, hey. But anyway, it is beautiful outside. But I'll tell you this, if anybody lives where there's wildlife, it is so cold here that I can see the entire front yard covered in snow. I have it's down to maybe 1.5 feet now from what I can see. It was up to 2 feet. And from what I can see, there are no paw prints anywhere, which means it's too cold for even the wildlife to be out. They're like, screw this. I'm going in a cave. I'm going in a bunch of trees or some bushes or whatever. They don't care. They're somewhere where it's warmer than walking across my lawn. And here's the thing. I always have animals walking across my lawn. I really want to get that window cam set up. I just have to buy it, and I'm not going to do that yet because I'm broke. But deer go underneath my window. They just kind of hang out because I have the bird feeder there. So all the animals kind of congregate right by my window, which was the purpose. And there's nothing. There's not one paw print. It's all just pristine level snow. It's beautiful to look at, but a little worrying. I'm like, where's my herd of deer? Because they usually come through here. Anyway, that's to start the day. I know. It's Thursday. This week literally flew by, which is the point of today's stream. Time. Now, when we're going to talk about time, I just wanted to give a couple examples in the title. Time flies, time heals all wounds, or time waits for no one. All those things are true. They're all true. But I want to know what time means to you because I see time very differently now than I ever did before. So we're going to get into that. But for right now, let's take a little look see at who all is here. We have Wolfram at 6:30 this morning dropping links like it was hot. Oh my goodness. Where is my wolf? He's not here. But I thank him very much. Thank you, Wolfram, for dropping those links. Even Suzanne was like, "Why are you guys awake?" Oh my god. I get you, Susie. I get you. I get you. Heidi also dropping all those wonderful mod things. They do there I have some of the best mods on the internet. I swear to God. And you know the best part about them? They were gifted. They just showed up and started doing the work. I didn't have to pursue anybody. I didn't have to ask for anything. They were happy to do it. I was happy to have them, and I truly appreciate everything that they do. Always, dropping links for other creators that come into the chat, looking out for one another, being respectful, respecting other people's time and place here means a lot to me. It really does. Heidi loves telling everybody on Rumble and YouTube, the content is opinion based. Don't don't do what she says. This is not professional advice. This is just me rambling and talking and letting you get to know me and me getting to know you. I spent most of my life keeping my thoughts in my head. It's funny because that's one of the things trauma does to you. You learn to give the appearance of being open and whatever with the people closest to you that are probably usually the people that hurt you the most. Yet you know what's going to get you in trouble. You know what people are going to chafe at. You know what's going to ruffle feathers. You know what's going to cause ripples. What's going to muddy the waters. So you keep that to yourself. One of the reasons why I squirrel so much is because my brain is so busy filtering out all the things that I want to say but shouldn't. Because there's some little like I picture her as like this little word accountant in my head, sitting there with her little glasses perched on the end of her nose. One of those frilly white silk ties, the big bow ties that the women wear, the old librarians and old like court reporters and stuff like that. They always had like that nice little suit on with the white chiffon blouse with the big, bow, bow-ish, I should say, tie or whatever. And I picture her sitting in my head going, no, 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 we're not doing that. We're not going to say that wouldn't be prudent, dear. And so that if you say that, this is going to happen. Do you really want that today? No. Very good. So let's put that away for later and get on with our day because that's pretty much what I've always done. I've always smoothed the way for other people, be it my grandmother, my mother, my father, my grandfather, my uncle, my teachers, my friends. It didn't matter. As much as you guys think I'm sarcastic and you might think I'm abrasive or too opinionated, I don't say a tenth of what I'm thinking. And it's been brought to my attention throughout my life. They're like, you, and I discussed this with Winning the other day. I said, people tell me sometimes that I'm closed off and that I'm caring but standoffish. I don't think I'm standoffish from my perspective. I'm way too enmeshed in other people's lives to begin with. But to me, it's not standoffish. I'm not used to involving myself in other people's lives as me. I get involved in other people's lives for them because they have a need for me to be there. And that fulfills a need in me, obviously, because, I do need a sense of purpose, and being needed does give you purpose in life. But there's so many things about me that I never show. Time played into that. I thought as I got older, I'd get more independent, I'd be braver, I'd be more forthcoming, I'd be able to be more myself. And it turns out that as you get older, yeah, you can do that. I can't seem to flip that switch. I mean, what you see is what you get. I'm not fake about what I show you, but there's so much that I don't think anybody would find value in or would oppose, that I keep it to myself. And it makes for very fragmented thinking, because I'm always thinking a million things and saying, "Oh my god, I can't say that. I can't say that. I can't say that. I can't don't say that. Don't. You're going to get in trouble if you say that." Well, on Monday at 12 o'clock, Trump was sworn in, and I don't know what happened, but I went to bed that night and I woke up with a fuck it kind of attitude. Super snark mode, I call it. Because I'm so over taking everybody's bullshit. I'm done being nice. I mean, yes, I'm going to be nice to the people that are nice to me, but I can promise you, if you give me a certain type of energy, I will return it in abundance. So if you come at me with stupid, I'm going to stamp out your stupid like it's my job. You come at me with attitude, I'm going to give you attitude back. If you're sneaky nasty, because I know a lot of people who like to be nasty but say, ha, ha, just kidding. I'm not going to be kidding. That's just the way it's going to be. Because I don't know how much time I got left on this earth. Could be a day, could be a decade, could be 5 decades. I don't know. But I don't want to live the rest of my life not being me just to make other people happy. Because there's nobody out there adapting to make me happy. So I'm going to meet that energy with the same. Now, I don't want to miss anybody. So, yes, once again, thank you, Heidi. Cool gamer. Hello. Hi, honey. How are you? I hope you're doing well. T-Rex Trucking. Shelly, good news. When I searched Talking Trash and Truth, search it where? In YouTube? I think so. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. The first video that comes up is When Superman Fell. Aw, which I know was an important episode for you. It really was. I really enjoyed that episode. I've been enjoying myself all week this week, but that is one of my favorites. It is. Thank you for telling me that. I'm happy about that. At least the cold blast is over, T-Rex said. He's saying hi to Heidi. T-Rex said, unless she's talking to me, then she ruffles feathers on purpose. Because you think it's funny. I mean, I do. I love to poke at the dinosaur because it's fun, and I think you need that. I mean, I know your situation. I know, not all your stories, but I know a lot of your stories. And I know how people interact with you. And in the past, people have poked at you in a not nice way. They've poked at you for their own amusement. They've poked at you for whatever their fucked up reason. I don't know, but it irritates me when they do. I poke at you, one, out of love, two, out of friendship, and three, out of that mama in me that just has to mama everybody. Because I don't want you to be hurt by other people. Dealing with me, I'm gonna poke, I'm gonna pick, I'm gonna scratch, I'm gonna, like try to rile you up sometimes. We're gonna get into deep conversations as we always have. And I just want it to make you stronger. I do. I want it to make you more resilient. I want you to be able to see the difference between somebody who's poking at you because they're teasing you because they care and, you're friends and everything's okay and you're safe with them, and the difference between people who poke at you because they're shitheads and have nothing better to do with their lives. Uh, so I do that for you. And I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna lie, as a byproduct, it makes me fucking chuckle. It's but I never do it to hurt you. Never, ever, ever. It is never my intention to hurt you, T-Rex. I think you're amazing. You're a fantastic dude. You're a great friend. You're very amusing. And you have a way at picking at my brain the way I pick at all your um not insecurities. I would say they're unsurities. Because again, you're young, you're not a baby, you have experience. But there's a lot of things in this world that you trust in that I don't. And it's almost like a little bit of an education. So it's just me mama bearing you. That's all it is. Um T-Rex, that reminds me of a oak joke or an okay joke. Game warden comes up to a man throwing corn in his yard. You ain't biting deer, are you? The man responds, no, sir, I'm feeding squirrels, but you bet your ass if a deer eats. Wait, what? I'm feeding squirrels, but you bet your ass if a deer eats. Really? Is there a continuation of that joke, or was that it? Because maybe I'm just not attuned to Southerners enough to get that damn joke. Try another one. I saw Captain Kern come in here somewhere. He's gonna have to give me a dad joke because that one I'm unsure now. uh, T-Rex, unless she's talking to me, then she ruffles feathers on purpose because you think it's bad. Yeah, of course. Heidi said, "Well, at least your filter works. Mine's broken, and I overstep where I shouldn't." See, that's part of the problem, Heidi, with me. People swear I have no filter. If they only knew how strong my filter was. Dear God. Uh, if I ever just turned off all the filters and said everything in my head, I would be hunted, is what I would be. I wouldn't have a friend in the world. Captain Kern, you say, hey, everybody, good day to you all. Good day, Captain Kern. I hope you're doing well. I believe you have um a stream coming up at, is it 1:30 to talk about the documents for your daughter's case? I believe I saw that. I might have dreamt it. I don't know. Last night was a weird night. Les, hi, honey. We have Lady Autumn Sky, who I call Lady Awesome, in case you don't know. We got Purple Jesus. Quit whining, T-Rex, you pussy. You know what, Purple Jesus? He said he has nothing better to do. That's nice. You're lucky we know you. I mean, T-Rex said to Purple Jesus, well, you could go play with your eggplant. And don't do it outside if you're anywhere near the kind of cold that we are, because ouch. Captain Current. Oh, I was gonna drink my coffee, but wait, let me read the joke first. Otherwise, I'm gonna die on air. My kid asked me, "Kid, did you get a haircut?" Dad, no, I got the ball. You're an asshole. Did you get a haircut? No, I got them all cut. All right. That was a good one. That was a good one. T-Rex. Joke is game warden. Is like, you ain't biting deer, are you? Guy responds, no, sir, I'm feeding squirrels. But you bet your ass if a deer eats the squirrel's food, I'ma shoot him. Well, there you go. There you go. That's a better joke. It's still not funny, but sorry, dear. But when you got to repeat the whole damn joke, The joke is no longer the funny part. It's the process that becomes the Kern said, yeah, on Squid Channel only. Okay. All right. So if you want, if anybody could drop that link, that would be much appreciated. Uh, I can't open Discord or my microphone goes wonky. Anyway, one of the things I want to talk about with time, what does it mean to you? I mean, I'm genuinely asking, what do you see as time? How do you define time in your life? I don't want a standard definition. I don't want, like the passage of minutes, seconds, whatever. What does time represent to you? For me, time was different all throughout my life. When I was little and I was living with my mother and father, we were living in this place called Ridgefield Park. We lived there till I was till I was 4. She finally was able to leave him. For me, time seemed to go on forever. And the time of day indicated what I could expect. Now, most 3-year-olds, 2-year-olds, when they wake up in the morning, they expect to get up, go to the bathroom, eat, play, watch TV, whatever. It's just the beginning of their day. They know they're going to get something to eat. They know they're going to, get hugs and hi and, good morning and all the wonderful things that parents usually do. Lunchtime, pretty much the same. The whole day is, when you're 2, 3 years old, everything is play, 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 nap, eat, play, play, play. Hugs. Oh, I fell. I get it. Boo boo kisses. Play, play, play. More food, more naps. And then you go to bed and the day starts again. For me, time indicated I got to get up. Mommy's leaving for work. I got to be quiet. I got to get myself breakfast. Now we're talking 2, 3 years old. How many 2, 3-year-olds make breakfast well? So of course I always got in trouble because I would make a mess because I was freaking 3. But I would go in the kitchen and I'd make cereal or I'd get, cookies or sometimes bread if we had it, which we didn't always. And believe it or not, the dog would help me. Chance, she would let me get on her back so I could climb onto the kitchen counter so that I could open the refrigerator, because we're talking 1977 about. So it was like the old refrigerator, just the one handle, you pull the whole damn door open, and you had like that internal freezer. So it was just one door. And she would always help me. She would make sure I didn't fall off the counter. And I made sure to do everything silently because if I woke my father up, oh, holy hell. So that was from breakfast to lunch. I had to be super, super quiet. I had to take care of myself. I had to, wash my own face. I had to brush my own teeth. I had to, use the bathroom by myself, get dressed by myself. So that time was tense time. Everything I did, if I woke him up, there was going to be hell to pay. In the afternoon, it was a mixed bag. Usually somebody would come over, one of his friends, and, they'd bring like White Castle or whatever. And they just throw me some food, like throwing it to the dogs. And I'd go off and do my own thing. I usually just stayed in my room and I just looked through all my little picture books and my regular books because I was learning how to read. But it was quiet time. But I knew if he woke up, it might be okay. He might not be in a rampage because his friend is here, whatever. Got to put on the nice face. And then nighttime meant my mother's coming home. There's going to be food. There's going to be somebody else in the house that might pay attention to me. And then that meant we were leaving to go to the flea market where we had a leather goods stand. And I would be there with mostly, just motorcycle guys and stuff like that all night. But daddy would be there. Back then he was Uncle Ray. And so I knew I'd be safe for the most part. And then I would go home and it would be party time and they'd all be high and smoking and whatever. So like that entire time where other kids got to relax and like play and be themselves, I had always be on guard. Then when I went to grandma's, everything was regimented. So time became you do this at this time, this time, this time, this time, this time, this time, this time. Everything had a routine. Now, routines are good, but you can get stuck in a routine. It can put you in a rut. And that's what it did for me for like years. But what that taught me, how they had it set up and what they had me doing at certain times, meant that my time was never my own. Even when, my mother was married to daddy and after he passed and I started taking care of her because she was a mental case. And then she started dating my whole teenagers. Everything was about, I need you to do this for me. I need you to be home at a certain time. You have to do this. You have to do that. You have to go to school and do this for these people. Then you have to come home and do this for me. You have about 2 hours at night to do whatever you want, but then you have friends, so you have to cater to them. And you have to like use that time to talk to them if you're going to talk to them at all, because then your time goes back to me. I have never owned my own time. Never. The same kind of way I don't own my own opinions sometimes. I don't own my own time. So time for me was arbitrary. It didn't matter because I wasn't in control of it. I wasn't in control of how my time was spent because I was literally trained to cater to everybody else. As an adult, I'm still like that. Because when you become a parent, your time is theirs. I hate to say it. Like, it's just there. Whatever they need, when they need it, that's you hop, skip to it. Let's go, let's go, let's go. But my time has never been mine. And I don't know how to change that. Even now, I sacrifice a lot of my time to cater to other people. Somebody expects me out in the living room at a certain time. I got to go out there. I got to sit there through the stories and everything else. I don't want to be there. There's shit I have to do. But my stuff gets put off and put off and put off. I find that to be a personal failing. So time has been quite the enemy for me. Looking back, because there's so much of it that I got that I didn't get to spend on myself. I didn't get to decide what to do with that time. And now being sick, I have time and yet I don't. There's time where there's nothing to fucking do, but yet I don't know how much time I have, like I said. So time is now a bigger uncertainty than it was before. And I feel like it's my enemy no matter what. I'm trying to change that mindset. I really am. But it's difficult. It's difficult. So, I'm trying. I lost my place. T-Rex. I sent the second half of the joke, but I think YouTube censored it because the word shoot him. I don't know if it's censoring for words so much as it's just censoring. Do you know how many of like the things that I typed out yesterday in Winning's chat just disappeared into the ether? I hit send, I watched it go, and nothing. And I'm like, where'd it go? It should be like literally right above the line where I typed it. Nope, gone. 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 I was so pissed off. And I don't know what's going on. I guess maybe they're going to roll out a new feature. Maybe they're working on that audio comment thing, which will be atrocious. But yeah, like it's just eating stuff. Oh God, 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year? How do I measure a year? And how many times I have a breakdown or screw up? That's how I measure a year. Sniper-rooney. Hello, T3. Been closed off myself for years. Internet me is a lot more sarcastic and outgoing than the real me is. See, you would think that about me, that I'm more bombastic on here or I'm more free on here. No, I'm not. Like, when I'm dealing with people face to face, I'm a lot more extrovert appearing because I feed off the energy of other people and I give off energy to other people. And there's a constant exchange and it really does supercharge me. It gets me all like fired up. And like I said, I'm a very physical person. I'm very tactile. So like you can't be in a room with me and not have me like at some point throw myself over your back and be like, "What you doing?" I'm just very in your face. I said it the other day. I have no boundaries. I don't have a personal bubble. I don't have any of that. Like just no. Like I have always used physicality to make myself known. And it's either going to be to comfort you, to amuse you, to lift you up, or to intimidate and terrify you. I can go any of those ways. But I've always been very physical about everything that I've done. And to me, that should have told people I wasn't closed off. But there are things that I protect about myself. There are wounds that, again, time has not healed. I have not healed. And I'm protective of the sore spots. Not because I'm afraid of pain. I don't want you to see my reaction. How many times, like now, do you hear tears in my voice? Why? Why am I being emotional? Why am I having this surge of I don't know what? Because to show you my weaknesses, what I see as weaknesses, my vulnerability is terrifying for me. I will tell you off in a heartbeat. I will punch you in the face like there are no consequences to be had in the world. But to share something that I don't even want to admit to myself, that 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 takes more strength and balls than I got. I keep trying, but I fail every time. But I keep trying. That's what I try to tell my son. It doesn't matter how many times you fail. Get up, do it again. Do it the same, do it different, change it up a little bit, change it up a lot, doesn't matter. Try again because every time you fail, you learn something. It's up to you if you're going to apply that knowledge, if you're going to use that experience to make yourself better, to make the situation better. And he always says, "But I don't want to fail." Yeah, I know you don't want to fail. Nobody wants to fail. Everybody would love to wake up every day and just be, "Oh, look at me succeeding." Can't stop succeeding. I don't want to use the other word. Can't stop winning. But you really can't. But he's afraid. He's afraid of failure. And I asked him one day, I said, "Well, what have you lost in the failure? Maybe you lose a couple bucks. You lose some, you know, you lose face a little bit. You lose time, you lose energy." Okay. All those things, there's more of them. It's a resource, those are resources that you can constantly tap into. If you run out of energy, recharge yourself. Borrow off that, like bit of time, take some of that time out instead of putting it toward what you were doing before. Take a little time for you, recharge, go back and start again. Nobody's keeping score but you. For some reason, he thinks, and I've always thought, and I don't know when that changed, that other people are watching your life and keeping track of your failures and successes. And while there are assholes out there who do that, they don't fucking matter. They don't matter at all. They're not adding to your life. They're just not willing to take a good look at their own. That's what most of these people who go out and they're judging everybody and look at he did this. Why do you care? What did you do today? That's what I want to know. What accomplishments did I was very busy watching other people live their lives while you sat on the side taking notes so you could be a little bitch about it. Like, go out and live your life. Live your life, improve yourself, do your own thing. Write your own plans. Schedule your life about what you want and stop worrying about everybody else. They're not worried about you. And I keep telling him that. Don't worry about, oh, well, nobody's gonna anything. Don't worry about it. And if somebody tries to intrude on what you're doing, we'll deal with that as it comes. Don't anticipate it. Don't fear it. Forge ahead. Come on, plow through. Just go. And that's the difference between him and I. He's hesitant. He is a Scorpio. He's always, creeping forward through every experience with those little pinchers, just that tail always at the ready, because he's always ready to have a sneak attack in case they have a sneak attack, or in case they turn face or whatever. Well, I should say turn heel, but that's him. I'm not like that. I see everything around me and I take it all in and I record it in my head, but I still plow ahead. And I'm just do it. Just do it. If I have to think about it, it's never going to get done. If it's just something on the list, then okay, tick that list, tick that, check the box. Box, 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 box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, okay, done. Then the other stuff matters. Then I can worry about the fallout and, everything else. He's hesitant and very, very methodical in what he does. I'm very much your typical Aries. I just ram through everything head first and I don't give a shit. And then I'm like, oh, did I do that? Oh, sorry. Oh, I left a whole bunch of messes behind me because I just barreled through a whole bunch of shit. Oh, I'm sorry. That's all right. You'll be fine. Because I understand that that's my nature. I'm starting to understand that that's his nature. And I'm trying to adapt how to get him to make the most of his life given his own nature. Not that easy. It's really not easy as a parent to look at your child and give them the freedom to make their own mistakes and to make their own choices when you know how it could be done, the best way for it to be done, and you just want to take them and shake them and go, "Why won't you just do it like I say?" Because you can't. You can't control them. I have a very hard time not controlling my children. I freely admit that. See, that's my mother doesn't admit she likes to control me. But I admit that I do have a tendency to want to control what my kids do. The difference is I don't always do it. I'm able to say, no, bitch, sit this one out. Yeah, you can fix it, but are you going to fix it his whole life? No, you don't even know if you're going to be here his whole life. So just let him do it. Let him fall. Let him stumble. Let him fix it. This way, next time, he won't. To me, that's the best way to spend most of my time with my son. We're laughing, we're learning, and I'm pushing him to do things without pushing him to do things, My daughter, it's a little different because I have to be more of a hard ass with her. But yeah, I didn't think, Sniper, that I was closed off, but apparently I am, and it's weird for me to admit because I really never thought that I was. I never thought that I was. And this is not something new. I mean, I've been told that I'm closed off and distant for like years. Yet I'm the one who's physically present all the time. It's weird. Uh, T-Rex time seems to go by quicker because each year is a shorter amount of time. When you're 7, 1 year is a seventh of your life. When you're 28, 1 year is 1/28th of your life. Yeah, you could look at it that way. I remember in 4th grade, it was 1984. Of course, that's a significant year. And the teacher said, what age will you be in the year 2000 when it turns the year 2000?" So I figured out I was going to be 25. And yeah, she argued with me, "You're going to be 26." I was like, "No, you said when it turns the year 2000, that would be January 1st. My birthday is not till March, so I'll be 25." And I remember sitting in my desk going, "Oh my God, 25." Well, I thought like I'd be rich, I'd be married, I'd have a ton of kids by then because 25 was so old to a 10-year-old. And then 2000 rolled along and I was like, "Oh crap." I was like, "I'm 25. How the hell did I get here?" It was like I blinked and all of a sudden I was 25 and about to be engaged and um well, I didn't know it then. I actually met my husband a week after it turned the year 2000. I met him on Elvis's birthday, January 8th, and I had a kid, and I had a full-time job, and I had responsibilities, and I had a bank account, and I had a car, and I had, like, all these things that to me signified I was an adult, and I was like, "Oh, no. When did I become an adult? When the fuck did this happen?" I was not on board for that. And then, like, I got married and everything else, and all of a sudden I was 30. And then I had Connor. I was, 32 when I had Connor. No, 30, 32. Yeah, I was 32 when I had Connor. And after that, I was like, I said, I remember looking at this baby going, "Oh my God, I have so much time with you. This is going to be so long and there's so much to do, but I'm up for it. I can't wait." And I blinked one too many times and he's 18. When I look back saying, "Oh my God, when I reach 25, I'm going to be old." I look back when I talk to you guys, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I've been friends with that person. Oh my God, 35 years. I know somebody 35 years. Holy shit." Like, it just doesn't seem possible because it was gone so quickly. When we're younger, we think, "Oh my God, you gotta wait a year to do something." That's forever. Now at 50, I'm like, "Oh, I gotta do it in a year? That quick?" Like, because a year like that. Look at this week. How many of you are like, "Okay, Trump got inaugurated on Monday." Was it really only Monday? It's been like a month already, right? No, it's been 3 days. Granted, he shoved a lot of things into those 3 days, but it doesn't feel like normal time. It feels both sped up and slowed down simultaneously. So many things have happened this week. He got inaugurated, he passed all these, he signed all these executive orders, so many different things have changed, departments are closing, things are evaporating right before our eyes, thank God for some of them. Other people, you still tuned in to other people's lives and stuff, so you see all these, like, monumentous occasions. Last night, Ricada did a stream. Hasn't done a stream on his own, like, on YouTube since August. He did one last night. Now, whatever you feel about Ricada, that's on you. I really don't give a shit. I'm his friend. I'm always mad at him. Yes, I'm always mad at him. I'm always shaking my head and I want to smack the shit out of him. And if he was in front of me, I would definitely beat his ass and then hug him until he couldn't breathe. But I care about him. And to watch him do a stream as a streamer, as somebody who goes up here and gets in front of you guys and reveals stuff, I know how nerve-wracking it is to be open with people and vulnerable, despite the fact that I say I'm closed off. I'm still remarkably open, just apparently not enough to please everybody else. But I watched him and I knew people were judging him. And I was sitting there going, "Oh, I gotta tell him that camera angle's not too good. The lighting's not so great." The way he's sitting and talking and looking off, you could tell he's like he's pushing through it. Like he really was like, all right, time to like sack up and do this thing. And as much as he doesn't care or says he doesn't care, he does. He cares what people say. He cares what people think. He's a human being. He does have feelings despite, him vociferously saying he doesn't. He does. And things are going to bother him and people are vicious. Vicious. For some reason, whatever he did makes people think they have the right to get out there in front of him and talk shit and be nasty and whatever. I really hope that all those people who are being completely disgusting to him and to anybody in general never, ever, ever have that kind of attitude turned on them. Because I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I wouldn't wish that kind of meanness or that kind of smackdown to anybody. Because if you make a mistake, maybe you can't admit to other people that you've made whatever mistake the way that they want you to admit it. But if you're trying to be better, even if you stumble, even if everybody sees you're struggling, if you're trying, that matters. Or at least it should. You should be given encouragement to be better, not constantly have things thrown in your face so that you feel that no matter what you do, it's never going to go away and it's always going to haunt you. You're always going to have to pay for it, even though you are sorry. There's no need. Everybody's like, he didn't apologize. Who the fuck does he have to apologize for outside of his family? Explain that to me. Oh, I feel betrayed. Boo fucking who for you? You're not living his life. You're not paying his bills. But people are gleeful over the misfortune of others. And I hate it. I hated watching in chat how people would just go after him and they just enjoyed it. And I was like, really? Your life is so short. This is how you want to spend your life? Shitting on somebody else who's already like in the lowest points of his life and trying desperately to dig himself out? And it's not about Ricada, it's not about what he did, I don't wanna hear shit about anything. It's anybody who's having a hard time. Every single person has fucked up somewhere in their life where they think, "This is gonna follow me forever. I can never make up for this." Because other people will not let it go. So despite you trying to be your best self or fixing things or being sorry or whatever, it doesn't matter because other people are not going to allow you that grace. They are not going to give you that ability to move on from that spot. And that's where I feel where he started his show. And I watched him be nervous and I watched him fidget and they were, "Oh, well, he's high. He's this. He's drunk." He said, "No, he's not. What he is streaming for the first time in by himself in like 5 months." And it doesn't matter. You could stream every single day. Streaming is not easy. It's not easy to have people come there and judge every single thing you're going to say and do. It's not easy to go there and have people who think they're funny, but say hurtful things. And you gotta good one, because you don't want them to see that it landed. You don't want them to see you bleed. But those cuts, they make you bleed. I never grifted off of Nick. I will never grift off of Nick. Like I said, he offered more than once to blow up my channel. He's like, we could do. No, I'm good. I'll do it on my own. I would rather have 50 people who enjoy coming to my show and talking with me and interacting with me than have 4,000 people show up and be assholes and not care what I have to say and not care what's going on with me and not share their lives with me in a very genuine, authentic way. I wouldn't trade that. So if I ever build a bigger audience, it's going to be on my own merit. I don't want to ride anybody's coattails. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to get any kind of popularity or success based on the clout that I could steal from somebody else. Like, I want it to be me. And if I don't do it, well, then that was something that I couldn't do. But I gave it my best shot on my own merit. Yes, you get help. But having an audience handed to you, that's not help. That's just here's an audience. There you go. Because I didn't think you could do it on your own. And why should you wait? Here you go. Here's a couple thousand people. No. We do little things like that for each other. We redirect and, we promote each other. And that's great. But I don't want to go somewhere and use somebody that I care about to get something that I don't really care about. I really don't. I don't like using people. I think it's disgusting. But I mean, that's probably because I've been used most of my life. So I know what it is to be on the shit end of that stick. But I'd rather do this by myself. And I'd rather him know that I'm his friend because I'm his friend. Because of him. Most of the relationships in my life are like that. I don't want people to think that I only talk to them because of what they can do for me. That is never something that I do. I don't spend all my time with winning because it's advantageous to my channel or, because he's good at refacing or because he, comes up with great intros and outros, for my show or because he does the clips. There's nothing he could give me that would ever be better than him. That's what I enjoy having in my life. I enjoy having him because he's him. I enjoy talking to T-Rex at 4 o'clock in the fucking morning and giving up sleep because I enjoy our conversations, because of what he brings to the interaction. Because sometimes the way his mind works either amuses me or I sit there going, huh, I gotta think about that. It's intellectually stimulating for me. It's philosophically stimulating. And I enjoy that. I do. He likes to dig into things. He likes to get into like the real meat of subjects. And I enjoy that. I enjoy somebody who wants to go and be more profound. Not somebody who says just, simple it up. Would you play? No, he's like, no, no, no. Like flesh that out more. Like, I want to get into that deeper. Let's go deeper into the weeds. And I enjoy that. But I enjoy that because that's what he does. I enjoy that about him. There's no advantage to it. Sometimes I'll get a stream out of it because I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to talk about this on my show. And I do that. But it's the person that draws me in. It's the person that I value. It's not what they can do for me that keeps me around. If it was up to that, I'd be married to the vice president of Maserati right now because I had that in my pocket. And no, that wasn't what I wanted. Wasn't who I wanted. He was fun for a while, but I was like, this is never gonna. We're not made to be a couple for life. Like we're made to be friends for a really long time. And that's where that is. Like I know a lot of women and a lot of men who strictly live their lives talking to people who can do something for them. I can't imagine how empty that must feel, how detached that must be. Um, but as you get older, you realize that you don't want people around for specific reasons. You want them around because of who they are, and you learn to accept who they are. I've accepted that my friend is flawed. He has accepted a long time ago that I am very flawed and fucked up in the head, but I'm willing to point it out. And he's more like, okay, let's just talk about you right now. Because he didn't want to look at him. Because I poke all those sore spots. But I think he's a good person. I just think he's going through a lot and he needs to be given the opportunity to get out of that rough spot. And if nobody wants to do that because they're like, he doesn't deserve it, nobody's family might. You all are bitching about the kids and his wife and the family unit. Okay, they're not going to get better if he doesn't get better. And if he's not encouraged and supported to get better, it's not going to happen. As it stands, tomorrow is his court date. I think it's his plea hearing or whatever, like his last plea hearing. And we'll see how that goes. But all in all, he streamed last night. I was very proud of him. I was. I was very proud that he got up there and he did that. Whatever his motivations were, whatever his goals were, that's not my business. I was glad that he did it. He took a step. He took a step toward normalcy for him. And he took a step away from the isolation that he's been in for a while. Because somebody like Nick needs an outlet. If he doesn't have his own outlet where he can control the narrative, he's going to go to other people's outlets and they're going to control his narrative. They're going to direct him in ways that maybe he didn't want to go and it doesn't work out well for him. So I'm glad he did that. But like I said, this week has been full of changes, huge, monumental steps for us individually, for us as a country. And I feel like I've lived a month in the last 3 days. I am supercharged and yet exhausted. Anybody else feeling like that? Captain Kern said, my friend claims he glued himself to his autobiography. I don't believe him, but that's his story. He's sticking to it. I hate you. This is a good one. He's so stupid. That's his story. Oh, it got me good. All right. How do you say most days measured time by the day, moment by moment? All righty. Time is relative. Ellie Fun. Hello, my Ellie. How are you? Good day to you. Captain said, I'm in the same boat, Shelly. Time is always against me. Being ill and disabled really screws with time. It really does. It really does. Because what I could get accomplished in a day before is vastly different than what I can get accomplished now. Like, first of all, I don't set an alarm to get up. So basically, I wake up when I wake up. Like, it is what it is. But then there's so many different things pulling my attention. Like I have YouTube, and then I have like Discord, and I have winning, and I have my kids, and I have my mother, and I have, groceries, and I have to, take care of the cats, and I have to clean up. And I gotta, try to like launch this other channel that I'm still working on. It could be months before I ever launch this channel because every step I take is so tiny and it takes so much time and effort and I'm exhausted. And then you have the world at large that's changing so rapidly that I'm now involved in. It was a lot easier when I just tuned out the entire world and I just focused on what was going on in my little, my little home sphere. Like if it didn't happen directly in that little microcosm that I built around myself, then it didn't exist because I didn't have time to deal with anything else. And now that I'm aware of so many things going on a world stage, on a national stage, on a political stage, I can't look away. See, it was easier to live with the lies that I was being told because I didn't have time to pay attention to them. And I didn't have the energy to let them get to me because all my energy and time was focused on school, work, kids, pets, home, finances, like everything that was directly, immediately impacting my life. That's where all my attention and energy went. And now that I've opened that world up and I've seen the things going on and I'm aware of the issues that are out there, I can't, me in good conscience, I cannot look away. I can't go back and put my head back in the sand and be like, everything's fine, everything's good, la 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 la. La." No, I can't do it because now everywhere I look, I see this is a problem. That's a problem. This needs to be fixed. That needs to be fixed. Talk about this. Talk about that. Focus on this. See if you could, write this so you can move on to the next thing. And then all the stuff that I want now falls to the side. I've taken the importance of my time and put it on something else. And I'm still adapting, but I don't get anything done like I used to. I was a powerhouse. I was Wonder Woman. There was nothing I couldn't do. There was nothing I couldn't accomplish. If it had to get done, I did it. And now I'm like, I think about doing the laundry and I'm like, oh, but then I gotta get all the clothes together. And it's so much. And it's all the way, like the washing machine is literally like 30 feet from me. I'm like, but then I gotta put that in, and then I gotta set it, and I gotta be available to put it back in the dryer, and then it's like, oh, do I have that kind of energy? No, I really don't. Some days I do, some days I don't. But now it's like I have to think about everything now because I don't know how much energy I'm gonna have compared to the energy I'm gonna need. So I have to be a lot more judicious when it comes to the things that I do throughout the day. So I can't just, go one thing next, 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 next. Like I can't do that. And it's because my mind and my body are like, no, bitch, we're slowed down. Mm-mm. Nope. That was never a factor. I don't know how to deal with that. And it's bothering me because I'm a doer. It's what I've always done. I'm type A personality. I go out and I just get shit done. I am the bitch that gets shit done, or at least I was. It's very frustrating to have that disappear. And it's a shock. It is a shock to the system. So I get you, Cap. I get looking at things and you're like, man, 2 years ago, that would have been done in 10 minutes. Now it's going to take me a week if I have the energy to start it at all. So yeah, I get it. I do. I get it. Ellie said I'm behind 20 minutes. Well, I'm behind 35. There you go. I'll catch up though. Time. Oh, hon, time is so precious. Time is flying. You have to live like there's no tomorrow in the context that you love all over your loved ones and appreciate what you have. Oh, that's nice, Ellie. I like that. I like how you said that. She said, I honestly don't remember if there's a scripture to back it up, but I thought we were told in the last days time will fly because Christ will come like a thief in the night. You know what? If it takes me to a better place, I don't mind. I really don't. I just don't want to leave anybody. Time to me is a thief because every time I thought I'd have more of it, either time or that person was stolen away. And I dread time now because I need time to be a better me. But in taking that time, that's less time I have potentially being the better me. That's time I have where I could lose somebody or something could happen to me and I leave. I'm terrified of dying without having accomplished certain things. I am terrified of dying without knowing what it's like to love somebody who loves you back. I am terrified of dying before my kids are ready. I am terrified of dying and leaving them behind because they've always depended on me. A lot of people depend on me. What happens to them? I'm not worried about me. I don't want them to be without. I don't want them to be robbed of time, but I need time to get better. Unfortunately, my body does what it wants on its own timetable. It don't give a shit what I want. I hate time. It's my enemy in every way, shape, or form. I have too much and not enough. And I preemptively mourn for the time that's going to be lost. Ugh, God. And I feel living with my mother, I have never felt so suspended in time against my will as I do now. You know, when you're a kid, you're like, oh, when I'm 18, I get to go to college. I'm out of here. I'm going to do this. I don't feel any of that. I feel like I got a life sentence and this is my cell on death row. That's how I feel. And Cap might understand that because you're literally trapped and limited. Ellie, you probably understand it too. Trapped and limited by your own body. The mind, the heart, they're the same. The body changes and you lose something. Oh, Rumble's being asshole. Uh Apparently Rumble is going up and down because it's giving me all these weird uh things. I might have to we're having trouble streaming to your destination. It's either Rumble or it's StreamYard being an ass. I'm just gonna take away the Rumble for now. Sorry, Rumble. I could always add it back later. All right. Not that it matters. Sorry, Rumble. T-Rex said, time is so weird with my job and my completely inconsistent sleep schedule. I don't even know what day of the week it is or the date. Just that I have to be in Lebanon, Pennsylvania tomorrow at 1800 hours. Where is Lebanon? I'm looking it up. Oh my goodness. Well, it's still 3 hours from me, T-Rex. But you'll be by Reading. Lancaster, Hershey. Yeah, that's far from me. I am smack dab between Altoona and Pittsburgh. I am pretty much equidistant from both of them. So there's that. Uh, but I know how you feel because Woody and I have been trying to make the most of our days, so we've been trying to go to bed, at a reasonable time instead of 7 a.m. And we've been doing really, really good. 1, 2 o'clock in the morning every night. It's okay. And he's like, I'm going to bed. You're going to bed? And I'm like, yes, I'm going to bed. Like I asking me if I'm going to bed is not a good idea. He knows he just tells me go to bed. Okay, I'll go to bed. Otherwise I'll just stay up and I'll just play like card games or whatever by myself for like 6 hours. Uh Nick's stream last night ended at about 4 a.m. And I was like, oh my God. When I had to get up this morning, I was like, "Oh, no." I was like, I'm so tired. So tired. My eyes are puffy. This is my second cup of coffee, and it's not just my cup of coffee. It's not tiny either. It's like a triple size, cup. So this is like my 6th cup of coffee, really. But, yeah, I understand about the sleep schedule because we were doing so good. Fucking Nick. Of course, Nick would fuck it up. But I'm still happy that I got to see it, and I got to see so many people in chat. I know a lot of you were there. A lot of the old guard were there. It was good to see everybody, and I was so happy that everybody that cared about him showed up to give him support. I think it's been a long time since what happened. Tempers have cooled. People have learned different things here and there about what was going on or whatever, and they could judge however they want. They could whatever. At the end of the day, no matter what your friend does, if they're your friend and you're their friend. That's it. I started out as, you know, just somebody who got something out of his show, and I wound up being his friend. Now, you can argue whether he's my friend or not. I believe he is. Is he to the degree that I am? I don't know. We're not the same person. We approach things differently. We have different, like ways of showing things, but he's not one for letting me down. I'll tell you that. He's he's given me some of the best advice that I've ever gotten. He's given me some of the strongest support I've ever gotten. And he believed in me at a time when nobody else did, even before winning. Like he was the one that was like, "Excuse me, why are you like letting these people do this? Like, that's not who you are." I was like, "No, but I care." He was like, "Yeah, you care. Are they caring about you?" No. He was very good about saying, "No, no, 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 no. You don't get to be you don't get to be a woman about this." Is exactly what he told me. He was like, "You don't get to be a woman about this. You gotta be logical. Put the emotions away. Don't feel it. Think about it." And I did, and it made a huge difference. But I was so happy to see people there, and I was getting excited. Like I think it was annoying winning or amusing him. I can't tell because it was like Nick's stream was very distracting. Um, I was so excited to see certain people. It was ridiculous how happy I was. I was like, "Oh my god, look who's there! Look who's there!" I kept checking like participants. I was like, "Oh, look, there's this person, that person." I was really excited about it, and it was a good night. It was a good night. Winnie had an amazing stream last night, and then we immediately went over to Nick's stream, and it was a really good time. Of course, he was late and gay because he's Nick. Uh I honestly, okay, so I read that. Captain Kern said, if I can do it, you can too, Shelly. Yeah, well, I'm trying. I'm trying every day. Every day I'm shuffling. But I am shuffling though today because my legs are dead. Unfortunately, I spent most of those times for winning stream and for next stream sitting in a chair, and my legs are like, see, we don't like that. My legs like to be, my legs like to be elevated. Well, they always did, didn't they? Ellie Fun at T Rex. It's perspective. The time you spend in your truck, you could be meditative and commune with God. True. Suzanne, hi, honey. How are you? How's Canada doing? Is Trudeau still crying? Yeah, if you're mean to Canada, we're going to be mean to you. Okay. I don't really see how they haven't been mean to begin with, but all right. I pray for you guys up there, Suzanne, because I love the Canadian people, but your government, just like our previous government, fucking blows. You guys deserve so much better. Say his name and he appears. No, no, no. He's busy. He's probably tired. I hope he's at least sleeping. I'm eating and drinking coffee. So I'm not going to chat till I'm done. All right, honey, you enjoy your coffee. I'm sure you're done by now because you know I'm way behind. Time's also a resource and a tool. We have agency in how we use that time. If we're wise about it, we use that time with people we love. The thing is, like, we use it with the people we love. That time, you'll find yourself greedy for more time with them. Like, when something's really good, you never want it to end with somebody. I'm the queen of the hour-long goodbye because when I'm happy to be somewhere, when I'm happy with the person I'm with, I never want to disconnect in a way because I never know when it's going to happen again. However, if you're irritating me, I'm like, yeah, all right, I got to go click. That's the fastest goodbye ever. Sometimes I don't even say goodbye. I'm just like, all right, well, all right, click. That's it. Like, no goodbye, no see you later. There's no promise of tomorrow. There's just fuck you and I got to go because I'm irritated. But yeah, going on, Ellie, going on my phone, just listening while I cook. You forgot to eat breakfast. Yeah, I know. I haven't eaten yet either. Like I said, I only had coffee. But she's going on her phone. That means you can't tag. I love when people. I said it yesterday. I was like, I got to go on my phone. My computer's being crazy because it is. There's some, I don't know. The computer's possessed or some shit. And I said, I'm going on my phone. They were like, ha, you can't tag. I don't tag people. It's rare that I tag. If I tag one in every like 100 posts that I put in chat, it's a lot. And it's usually only for the people like I had to in Nick's chat because there's too many goddamn people. You just get lost in the melee. But in my chat, what the hell do I have to tag anybody for? There's like 20 of you. If you can't figure out who I'm talking to, then we have to have a different discussion and maybe get you some vitamins. Just saying. Puffer. Hi, Puffer. Good to see you, Shelly. How are you? I am fan fucking tabulous. That's how I am. I spent, you want to talk about time? I spent more than 8 hours on Twitter yesterday during the day, waiting for groceries and everything else, just being the snarkiest bitch I could be. I literally, any thought that came into my head as a response to what I saw in front of me, I typed it out, send, typed it out, send, typed it out. I didn't give a fuck. I was having such a good time. And then I was talking winning. I was like, I was on Twitter all day today. I was on X all day. It was like, uh-huh. I was like, wait, I'm gonna go and count the amount of posts that I put out. I fucking put out more than 50 posts, which for me, if I respond to one thing in a week, it's a lot. And I sat there for hours just reading shit, watching videos, and going, oh fuck no. Oh fuck no. Oh fuck. I even fucking wrote to Pope Francis and was like, you know what? You're worried about Trump isn't being Christian. He's building walls, not bridges. Number one, the Vatican is surrounded by walls. And how about you build a bridge and use it to transport all your little pedo buddies, the pedo priests that you're, like putting away in the outback or in Africa trying to hide them and save them from any kind of like persecution or any kind of, consequence. How about you take them out, walk them across that damn bridge right into the police station? How about that? How about that? How about give those victims a little bit of, closure for what they've gone through and make the people that did it pay? You want to talk about bridges? Build that bridge and walk them the fuck over it. How about that? And I posted it much more succinctly than I just did right now. But that's the kind of shit that I was putting on Twitter yesterday. Because I couldn't. I fucking couldn't. They were talking about the J6ers. Oh, how are you gonna, release these people who beat up a guy? I'm sorry. In New York, how long did the illegals get that beat up on those guys? Oh, wait, no, you didn't even arrest them. You just said, oh, you shouldn't have done that. Go away. That was it. There was no jail time. They didn't even get their mugshots taken. And they were illegal immigrants beating the shit out of cops on video, and you did nothing. So take your hypocritical bullshit and shove it right up your ass. I don't want to hear a fucking thing. And this is the mood that I woke up in this week. So this is like, I think I called it my super Stark mode, but you might call it my Trump attitude. It's the Trump era attitude. It's the stop with your bullshit. I'm going to call you on it. And if you want to go, we'll go. Let's go. Because I am tired of going, ugh, these people, ugh, and not saying anything. Like, I'm disgusted. I've had it. And now I'm going to share my thoughts with anybody that I want to share them with. And I don't care. Let the shit fly. That's it. Let the chips fall where they may. MJ, hello. Hi, MJ. How are you? How are you? Heidi said it. Elephant, you're right. That scripture about what you chatted, read time and Jesus coming back. It's Revelation 16:15, Matthew 24:43, and Thessalonians 5:2 and 4, and 2 Peter 3:10. I know I don't say all the colons and whatever. Like it's a lot of numbers. I'm just gonna read them out. But yeah, there's a lot in the Bible that talks about time. And you gotta wonder, what is time to God? I mean, he's got all that exists ever. He's got infinity, forwards and backwards. Like, does he I wonder sometimes, can God relate to time the way we do? Or is that why we turn to Jesus? Is that why sometimes we lean harder on Jesus than we do just going straight to God? I have a tendency to feel more comfortable talking to what I perceive as God. Other people talk directly to Jesus. I kind of figured they're all one, so I just kind of consolidate them all. But I think Jesus was one of the ways that, because he was human, we're relatable to him. We find him more relatable, or we think he'll be more understanding of why we do the things we do and how we act and what we perceive as our lives. Because God has infinite time. Jesus experienced time on a human level, on a mortal level. So he knows how long, short, precious, and wasted it can be. And I think that's why we tend to turn to him specifically when we're struggling, because we think he's going to be more in tune with what we're going through. Like, he'll get it. God is all powerful and omniscient, and he knows all, he can do all. Yes. But Jesus actually walked as a man. Jesus bled as a man. He experienced pain as a man. He experienced joy. He experienced the fleetingness of time. He experienced the expanse of time when you want things to go quickly and they just won't. He knows that a second could feel like a month. He knows that a year can feel like a day. Like, he understands the fluctuations that we go through in regards to time, pain, emotion, everything. And I think that's why we turn to him. And I think that was part of God's plan to make him mortal. Not just to forgive us, but for us to have someone that we honestly could feel connected to because we think they understand. That's all people really want. I think more than forgiveness, we want understanding. We want somebody to get it. You know, that's why we're always explaining. Explaining. That's why we talk so much. We talk and talk and talk because I just want you to understand. I want you to get it. And I think that's why we look to Jesus so much in that regard because he does understand. He experienced it the way we experience it. Was he still divine and exceptional and, on a different level than us? Yes, in many ways. But in many ways, he was made to walk the earth the same way we do. He had the ability to make it easy on himself, and he didn't. He had the power to just be like, "Oh, no, I'm gonna fix that, fix that, fix that, fix that. I'm gonna make my life super easy." He could have done that at any time, and he didn't. He struggled and suffered and laughed and enjoyed and cried and celebrated all through his life the same way we do, all those ups and downs. And I think that's what established such a huge connection for us. T-Rex. I remember specifically when I was in elementary school thinking these teachers look so old. Yep. And then when I was in high school and saw one of them at graduation, they were like 35, 40. It's crazy. I know. Most of my teachers were like in their early 20s, and I thought, God, they're so old. Why aren't they married? They're never going to be married. God, nobody's going to want them. They're like 23, 24. It was like, ugh. And now I look back and I'm like, damn, I was taught by babies. No wonder why they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. They were just out of college. Snipperoonie said, I have serious anxiety. Can't just do it. I'm 55. Only now am I working on it. After I pissed off a very good friend, I had to admit I needed help. It amazed me how helpful people are when I just try. That's the thing. Um, it's really hard to ask for help sometimes. I get that. I'm glad that you're doing that. I'm glad that you're allowing people to care about you because that's what it is. When you don't ask for help, you're rejecting the care of others, either because you don't want it or you don't believe you're worthy of it or you think they're going to disappoint you. So you preemptively say, no, I'm not going to ask because they're just going to disappoint me. And I can't deal with that too. So I'll just muddle along. Or you're used to being the one to help other people because that gives you value that you don't see in yourself unless you're doing something. Did you know that there are people in this world who just find value in themselves for being themselves? I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't. I wasn't raised that way. I was raised to believe you have value dependent on what you bring to the table. So if you can't supply all these things for other people, what good are you? I literally had people in my family, my grandmother, my grandmother, my grandfather, my mother, say, "You can't even do the simplest thing. What good are you? Why are you even here?" I've heard that since I was in diapers. What good are you? That was the favorite go-to in my family. I needed you to do this. What good are you? Get out of my face. What good are you? So unless I'm giving and doing and supplying, might as well be dead, right? Because I have no value. I don't know how to believe anything else. I think it's too late for that. And when you're that type of person, ending your life is not a hard decision. It doesn't even rank up there as being um consequential because you figure, well, I'm not bringing anything to anybody. I'm not valuable at all. So nobody's going to miss me when I'm gone. They'll probably be better off. I'm one less thing they have to deal with. That thought goes through my head every day, all day. That is a constant living thought that I can't get rid of. Now, am I going to do it? No, because I have my kids. I would love to say, oh, because I have Winning, but Winning would, he'd be all right. He's a grown ass man. He'd be okay. It would hurt, but he'd move on. But I would forever change my kids, and I can't do that. But I get it. It's hard to ask for help. It's hard to admit that you're lacking in something because then what's the point of you? But here's the thing. Other people need to feel needed too. So part of what you're doing in asking for help is allowing people to show their good side, to show their compassion, their empathy, to show their abilities to take care of you or to care for you. You're allowing them to be better in asking for help and you're helping yourself. So it's a win-win situation. And if they can't or won't help, well, that's a win for you too, because now you know that's not somebody who's on your team. That's not somebody who you can rely on. And you get to categorize them however you want. Keep them in your life if you want, but at least now you know. You know what you're dealing with. Andrea, how you doing, honey? Who are we talking about? We're talking about everybody. P Digits told my doctor that I broke my arm in 2 places. He told me to stop going to those. That was a good one. I wasn't expecting that. Not from you. It's weird. Oh, God. I'm trying not to snort. It's there. I can feel the sensation, but I'm trying to like control my laughter so I don't snort on the damn stream again. That was good. Thank you for that. Peaches. I can't. Oh Lord. Alrighty. Who T3 speaking about? I think I was talking about Nick before. Ricada. The calendar days are numbered, quite literally. Yeah, I know. I know. I know. Got the answer. Thank you, T3. Awesome. Andrea said, some people see an injured animal and pounce. The Kate is no different. Nasty people in this world mainly urged on by envy. It's true. It's true. Sometimes it's envy, and sometimes it's just I feel weak in my life. Oh, look, there's somebody weaker than me right now. I'm going to gain my own personal power because they think it raises them up by stepping on them. And there are a lot of people who do that, who will only feel raised up in life by stepping on other people. And I think that's an atrocious way to live. I think there's something broken in your very soul to make you be like that. I'm the first one. I tell you guys all the time, I could be so mean. But I really don't ever want to be that person who sees somebody who's already shattered and they're hanging on by that one skinny little thread. I don't want to be the one that cuts that thread. I don't want to be the one to give them that last push off the cliff. I want to be the one that makes them laugh, who makes their heart a little lighter, makes their burden a little lighter. You know, I want them to know it doesn't matter how fucked up you are. I love you. You're someone who I have genuine love for, genuine concern, genuine care. I just can't do anything with it except tell you and hope that it makes you feel better. Hope that it soothes some kind of hurt within you. Uh, P digits. I know someone who was habitually late until his doctor recommended sleeping in a herb garden. Sounds odd, I know, but now he wakes up on time. I hate you all. He wakes up on time. That was a good. I gotta remember that one. Holy shit. Uh, I'm gonna present it like a story to my mother. How much you want to bet? I bet you anything. Everybody gets it but her. That was a good one. Papa said, "Well, it's a job. I don't want hair in my food at a restaurant. I'm gonna say something, and I'm not gonna come back. Easy. Yeah, you know what? I won't. I'll literally just remove the hair, not eat the food, and then just not go back. But I won't say anything. It's weird because I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to start shit. I will fight if there's a fight to be had, but I don't want to be the one to start the fight. Like if you want to throw hands, we'll throw hands, but you got to swing first. That was the one thing my grandmother always instilled in me. Never ever take the first shot. Somebody who's gonna, hit you, let them hit you, then you hit them back and don't stop. Like if somebody comes after you, you let them take the first shot every time, whether it's verbal or physical. You do not swing first. You just sit there and go, wait them out. Either they're going to give it up and walk away, and that's going to be the end of that, or they're going to do something, and then you're just defending yourself. You can't be held responsible for what you do if you defend yourself. So she had that she gave me. And if you notice, a lot of people try to start fights with me, and I'm just like, meh. Like, unless I care about keeping you around, I'm not going to fight you. Like, if you want to fight, go ahead, go have a fight. Oh, you want to fight? Okay, you won. We're done. Like, because obviously you needed to win that fight. I didn't need to win that fight. I'm good. Like, that doesn't fulfill anything for me. But if you want to like get down to like, if you really want to fight, and I know you, like, you're not gonna stop. Okay, you first, and then I go after that. P digits. I walked past a homeless guy with a sign that read, "One day this could be you." I put my money back in my pocket just in case he's right. That's actually really smart. You know how many times like I'll get a coupon or whatever in the mail, and my mother's like, "Well," I'm like, "They sent me a 75% off coupon for Big Lots," and she's like, "Oh, that's great." I was like, I could go there and spend $200 and buy $200 worth of stuff and save 75%, or I could delete the email and save 100%." And she's like, "But then that's no fun." I don't give a fuck. There's nothing I need right now. Like, if I needed something, that would be a great coupon. Otherwise, it's just telling me, go out and spend this. Spend 25% of your money on bullshit that you don't need. No, I just delete the coupon. I'm like, oh, look, I saved 100%. Look at me, such a good shopper. I wish I could apply that to the rest of my life. Captain Kurt. Oh, made Shelly snort. I went, you made me snort a couple times. I had to mute myself. Thank you for that. Nerd. How you doing, nerd? I heard a snort, snickety snort. No. Look at Andrea with her Aussie bucks. Trump, Trump, baby. Trump, Trump, baby. Doom, 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 doom. Trump, Trump, baby. Doom, 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 doom. All right, let me see. Media assets. Oh my goodness. What is going on with streaming? I don't know if this is going to play, y'all, but it's not showing me. Oh my goodness. All right, let's try this for Andrea.
Thank you for your super chat. Thank you for your super chat.
I don't, you guys, if you don't have streamers, you don't know what it looks like. All my little icons and like thumbnails to show me what file is what, they're all gone. They're just broken. And I was not expecting that. Okay, that's a little jarring. But yes, thank you, Trump, Trump, baby, doon 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 doon, Trump, Trump, baby, doon 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 doon. Good luck getting that out of your head. Thank you very much for that, Andrew. You're awesome. Last said, I'm back. Hi to whoever joined chat while I was out. No worries. Just us girls. And Captain and T-Rex and 357. And I don't know why YouTube insists on telling me in the analytics that it's like 90% female when I have so many men that come to my chat. I think it's a pretty even like distribution. I think it's like half and half. A lady said, "Oh, should I put on my magnifiers?" Oh, the typos. Oh, please. I changed my contacts this morning. That was why. Remember I said the other day that I couldn't read shit? Well, apparently I forgot that I'd had those contacts in for like ever. And with all the crying and everything else and the heat being on, they got dried out and they started to cloud. That's why I couldn't see. So this morning, I lost one contact on the rug somewhere. I don't know, because the fucking cat jumped up and my hand went up and the contact went flying. I was like, good thing I have extra. But because I wasn't looking for it. And I changed my contacts and holy shit, y'all, I can see. I can read outside. I can see individual branches. Like it doesn't seem like I have glaucoma and cataracts of a 120-year-old right now. I can actually see shit. It's amazing. And it's fucking bright out. Just saying. It's a really sunny day. You got to picture it. Everything on the ground is white. There's just snow everywhere. There's not a cloud in the sky. It is the most beautiful, crisp blue sky you've ever seen. The sun, it's the brightest sun you've ever seen in your life. I don't think there's ever been a sun brighter. But put all that together, it's fucking cold. Okay, why is it when there's no clouds in the sky and the sun is out, it's almost always fucking freezing? I don't get it. Like there's almost no wind, but yet it's so cold. And yet it's 20 degrees warmer than it was yesterday. But yeah, no, I could see. So yay me. Heidi with the hugs. Thank you, honey. I know I'm very emotional today because I'm purging. So when I just purge, it's like, all right, I have all this stored up emotion that I don't deal with when I'm by myself, because when I'm by myself, I don't have to. I just don't feel anything. I just play cards and, do my puzzles. I read a book and watch a show, and I don't have to talk. When I talk, the emotions well up and then they kind of overflow. 357. We live, Shelly. Oh, thank you. We all live. Everybody gets to live. They live. That was a good movie. It was bad, but it was a good movie. How's my people doing? I cried today. Shh. Aw, honey. Crying is good for the soul. You know what? It's good for the soul. And by the end of this week and next week, there's going to be a whole party of people who are going to be very cleansed because the salt is flowing It is. They're crying, man. Cry harder. That was half of my post yesterday. It was cry more, bitch. Because they're just so, oh, it's not going our way anymore. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Ellie Font, we love you. So, oh, thank you, Ellie. I love you too. I really do. I love you guys. I don't know what I'd do without you. I really don't. Andrew said, makes one wonder if the vax has anything to do with the T3. I suffered terrible from the vax. Oh no, like I mean, for me, the vax is what killed me. Like it literally robbed me of everything. It attacked every system I have: brain, spine, blood, joints, lymphatic, everything, everything. My reproductive system. It attacked and destroyed a lot of everything. And I keep trying to work it out and build it back and make it better and make myself stronger. And I just wonder if I should keep fighting or just accept it and kind of like waste away on my own. Just say goodbye to any dreams I have. But that's not who I am. As much as I'm a lover, I am a fighter. And I will keep fighting. Even if I have to fight myself. I'm not going to give up. I'll be goddamn if something's going to beat me. Every little victory I have, I relish every single one of them. But this life ain't fucking beating me. I don't care what it throws at me. That is not a challenge, universe. Just so you know, not a challenge. I'm just saying, I will never give up. But yeah, love and strength. Either. Aw. Okay, StreamYards is being extremely weird. Like all the clicking's doing nothing. Andrew with the $5 Aussie bucks. Love and strength, T3. Thank you very much. Hey, let me see. Let's do a super chat for the dudes. Thank you for that, honey. I really do appreciate that. And I welcome the love and the strength from you guys because I need it. Because how else am I going to?
All I do is win, no matter what.
That's right. When they introduced the guy at the Capital One Arena and that song came on, I lost my fucking mind. I was like, yeah! I was so excited. It's retarded, I know. But thank you very much for that, Andrea. I appreciate your Aussie bucks. I got money from Oz. 357. We love you, silly goose. Facts. No, thank you. I love you guys too. Elephant, I love you, DNQ. If you know what DNQ means. No, I don't. What is it? What the hell is DNQ? Do not quit? What? that's all Oh, tell me. No, don't keep secrets from me. Life is a wild ride. Happy faces, mama. 357. I try to put on my happy face, but if it feels fake, I can't do it. I can't do it. Andrea said, you have the most important kind of love. Your children give you endless, unconditional love. That and they give me a lot of agita. You know what agita is? It's fucking heartburn, indigestion. Was that a commercial? Heartburn, indigestion. Diarrhea? Y'all know the diarrhea song? I'm gonna squirrel for a second. Do you know that song? I taught my son that song in the middle of warm. In the middle, I can't talk. Oh my god. In the middle of Walmart, I taught him that song. He was like maybe 4. And my mother and I had gone to Walmart. We brought Connor with us. And I had him in the carriage while I'm going up and down every aisle because my mother takes forever when she shops. So I was like, I'll just take my time. And he was bored. I was like, you want to sing? And he was like, okay. I was like, what do you want? You want a cute song? You want a sad song? You want a funny song? Like, what do you want? I want a funny song, a new one. I was like, all right. So I was like, let me think. And I was like, you want a gross song? He was like, oh yeah. I was like, all right. When you're walking up the splatter, no, when you're walking up the ladder and you hear something splatter, diarrhea, diarrhea. We spent 3 hours in Walmart making up lyrics to that to that song. Um, if you ate too many beans and the shit comes out your seams, diarrhea, diarrhea. Some people say it's gross, but it's really good on toast, diarrhea. See, that's the kind of mom he had such a good time. And my mother was like mortified. She was like, "Oh my god, you're singing that so loud. People are staring at you." I was like, "Yeah, they're staring. They're also laughing their asses off." Like we sang through the whole fucking store, and people were just like, some like people were like, "Ugh," but they were still chuckling. But we were making people laugh, and we had such a good time doing it. I wish more of life was like that. I wish we had more of those opportunities because that's the kind of stuff I like to do. If I can spread cheer, I will. And if I have to use the diarrhea song to do it, that's what's going to happen. 357, I flew the birds and nest as fast as I could. Now I don't want to be away from my mama. Yeah. I had the opposite. I wanted to be with my mama, but now I just wish I was anywhere but. Shelley, God slows us down for a purpose. It's to reflect and redirect, in my opinion. When my accident happened, I was on a very dark and dangerous path, hanging with some bad people. It made me introspect. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. What's back? Wait, I'm gonna hit edit. I hope nothing happens. Let's see. I don't know. I'm not gonna mess with that. Um no, I completely agree, Ellie. I've said it many times. I think God stopped me because I wasn't paying attention to the things I needed to pay attention to. Dearly, not queerly. Dearly, not queer. I love you in a straight way. Like I love you, but I don't love you. Do you remember when you were young? This is for Gen Xers or older, especially. The way to say something was to say it twice. That meant you really meant it. Be like, "Oh, I like you." I mean, I like you. I don't like you, but I like you. It's like, I love you. I mean, I don't just love you. I love you. It's like, and we understood what you meant when you said shit like that. Are you sorry? Like sorry, or are you just like kind of sorry? Like, you better stop for some Amish food, T Rex. Absolutely, you absolutely should. Man, get yourself some of that. Um, I don't know if you like it, but oh my god, why is the bread pudding? There we go. Get yourself some of their cinnamon raisin bread pudding. Oh, it's amazing. I love making bread pudding. That's one of my Connor's favorite things. That's why he's like, "Oh, we have all this bread left over, and look, it's." He'll like stomp on it with his hands, he'll like pound it into nothing. He's like, "Look, it's all damaged. Can't make sandwiches." You know what you could make? I'm like, "Yeah, you pain in my ass. Get the eggs, get the milk, get the cinnamon. Go ahead." 357 nerds using military time like me. I know. 34 years since I lost control over my body, but we find a way. Andrea, I know, but I just wonder, like, what would my life have been like if that hadn't happened? If I hadn't had to take that stupid shot? How different would things be? I mean, I wouldn't know any of you. I'd still be working, literally working every single day of my life. in that school. I never would have left. It just got to be way too hard. And it was just killing me emotionally. And because of what my body was going through, I couldn't handle the emotions of it. And my brain was, fizzing, literally fizzing. So I had little bubbles going on in my brain. So, yeah. It's funny though, because when I feel like once I lost the power in my body that I had before, it switched to a different area that I could utilize that personal kind of power that I have, my strength. I wasn't lifting desks in each hand like, I'm fucking Hercules or whatever, but I could lift up people with what I said. And I wasn't busy running here and there and everywhere. I had time to sit and dedicate my love and my care in one direction and really give power to that instead of spreading it as thin as I did before. So yeah, I lost control over a lot of my body. Well, yeah, there is a loss of control for me, but there's more a loss of power for me. Things aren't what they were, and I have a really hard time reconciling with that. Because in my head, nothing's different. That's what real dysmorphia is. It's not just body dysmorphia, it's life dysmorphia. In your head, you think things are the same as they were, and they're not. They're very, very different. So you have to adapt. I'm doing the best that I can with what I have to work with. That's all I can say, and I'm sure you feel the same. Some days we do really well, and some days we're like, well, that was shit. You just got to forgive yourself. You got to allow yourself to have the peaks and valleys. P digits. With the rise of self-driving vehicles, it's only a matter of time before we get a country song where a guy's truck leaves him too. That's true. Oh, my tractor ran away with my John Deere. Like, oh my God, you have a John Deere letter instead of a Dear John letter. That'd be hilarious. Oh my God. Hubby got Alzheimer at 49 and he has long gone now. Yeah. I'm sorry for that, honey. I'm sorry for your loss. There's so much that we lose, and yet the people who lose the most tend to be the people who give the most. Because they don't want anybody else feeling pain. They feel they have the lion's share. I'm feeling the pain. I don't want anybody else to. Like, this is enough. Fair's fair. Like, if I got to feel this, I don't want anybody else to go through it. 357. My brain doesn't let me choose my sleep routine. If I get 4 hours, I can function. Yeah, you can. It's not good for you though. Trust me, I lived most of my life going on two, maybe 3 hours of sleep. REM sleep, what the hell is that? Like, that didn't exist for me. And naps were not a thing. I didn't take a nap after the age of like 4. Like, I never took naps. Maybe when I was pregnant with both my kids, I might get in a teeny tiny nap here or there, like once in a while. But no, but like once I got sick, naps were a thing. They were essential for me to get through the day. I don't always nap now. Like, I'll go 3 or 4 days without taking a nap, and then I'll have 2 days where I sleep for like 12 hours, and then I get up, literally go pee, come back, and take a nap. Because I just don't have it. My reserves are empty. Ellie said, for me, my body thing has been a journey. It's genetic. I was fine until I got sepsis during COVID. Yeah, sepsis fucking sucks. Then it blew up and my immune system was in overdrive, and I've been fighting taking biologics. Yep. I was talking to Winning last night, and I was like, oh, I forgot to do my pills. It took me 15 minutes to get all my pills all set up for the week. Because they're so goddamn many. I have a basket next to me. I don't know if you can hear this. This is a basket full of supplements. Not one pharmacological or pharmacy medicine, but all supplements. I take the spike protein detox for this. I take the vitamin D. I take the multivitamin. I take the probiotic. I take the collagen. I take the biotin. I take the turmeric. I take the bioline, whatever the bio should. I don't know. It's this long fucking word. I take the ashram root or whatever the fuck it's called. Like there's so many, and I take this is for inflammation, and this is for my skin, and this is for resilience, and this is for my bones, and this is for my joints, and this is for my immune system, and this is for this. And I might have to, and there's a whole bunch of mushroom things and everything else. I take all these things every day. And I'm like, oh, but I'm not getting better. But I am getting better. Because a year ago, I couldn't do any of this. 2 years ago, I was getting ready to go into the hospital to die because that's where I was at. I mean, I literally, for my birthday 2 years ago, I almost died. They said, you're going to die. Oh, okay. Unless we hit you with everything we've got, which is going to make you feel like you want to die. And I already felt like I wanted to die. I was already in so much pain. I was like, fuck it, do it. But I had to make a decision. And I decided I was not done. I was not going to let this thing kick my ass. And that kept me on this planet long enough to see my way out of bad situations, to find my way into a really good friendship when I met Winning that developed into somebody I don't ever want to live without. So everything happens for a reason, but sometimes like that sepsis scared me to the point where I was like, listen, bitch, you got to decide. Are you going to fade? Because it'll be just a couple days. Literally, I would have been dead in like less than 2 days with how bad the infections were. And I swear, I heard everybody's voice. I heard Rabbit. I heard Darth. Um, I heard T-Rex. I heard Nerd. I heard like so many people in my dreams telling me, no, you can't do this. And that light that showed up when I had to make that decision, it pushed everything out and just said, no, you gotta do this. Like you need to fight. What are you gonna do? You're just gonna give up? And I decided to trust that light. And I fought and I won. And I'm here. And it's been over a year since I had any kind of wound. I have no wounds, guys. None. Whereas I went through a whole year where I was just I felt decrepit because it was just trying to heal this, heal this, heal this, heal this. Now I'm working on the internal emotional wounds. And I've gone pretty good with that too. So yeah, I do believe it all happens for a reason, but sepsis sucks. I've never felt that bad in my life. Like I literally was like I didn't even have the energy to blink. And they had me so hopped up on all these different pills that I was delirious. Come on, I was hallucinating and shit. It was terrible. Um, I feel bad that you're going through it. I know what you're going through, but you are such a powerhouse, Ellie. I know if anybody can beat it, it's you. I believe in you, honey. I do. I believe that you are smart enough and strong enough, and you have the drive, the motivation with your husband, your life, your kids to push yourself until you're in a better place and to keep always pushing yourself. You don't seem like somebody who pushes herself to get better and then goes, all right, I'm tired. I'll just be like this for a while. No, I think you're in perpetual motion going forward. I admire that. I really do. Uh, 110 tires on a road train here. Oh, nice. 2025, and they won't give us what will cure. No, they'll never give us the cure because there's no money in it. 357. I do believe time heals, Shelley. It's also our power to push on. We all got the pain. Emotions are normal and healthy. Yeah. Some people are able to like ignore the pain though. I used to be able to do that. I can't do that anymore. There's too much of it. And that's why I never wanted to open up that gate. I never wanted to let anybody in because once that floodgate opens, there's no closing it. Like there's just none. That's like trying to block up Hoover Dam. Once you like, oh, just open everything up. Okay, shut it. Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. Like it's just not gonna happen. You use hydraulics to open it up, and then you're trying to like push with your hands to close it. That's the difference there, and it just ain't gonna happen. Uh, True. I mean, who wants to be dependent on big pharma for the rest of their lives, right? Absolutely. Just keep moving, Shelly. I'm trying, Ellie. I'm trying. 357. When you stop feeling pain, that's when you worry. Well, you know what? I'd like to go a couple hours without pain. That'd be awesome. That would be. I don't even see you guys don't understand how much energy I normally would have. And I think part of the reason why I have such low energy all the time is because I'm diverting and channeling that energy toward ignoring pain. Because if I gave into the pain, yeah, I'd have all this energy, but I'd have all this pain. So it's like, it's a balancing act. I have like some days I'm like, fuck it, I have to do shit. I'm just gonna have to feel today. Like I'm just gonna have to have my legs hurt or my back is gonna have to hurt or I'm gonna have to just acknowledge the fact that I have a migraine and I gotta do it anyway, because I need that energy for something else. It's like when I got my gallbladder out. The doctor was like, he said, I don't understand how you functioned day to day. I was like, what do you mean? He said, you had 22 gallstones fused together. It takes years for that to happen, decades. He was like, and there's no way you didn't feel pain from that. I was like, I don't feel pain like other people. He didn't understand that when he first met me because he was like, what's your pain? Like 0 to 10. I was like, I don't know, about 3. And my friend Peggy was with me. She said, don't ask her that question. Shelly. I was like, what? She said, if I was you right now, what would my number be for pain? And I was like, I don't know, about 12. And she was like, see? She was like, it's different. She was like, she doesn't feel pain like that. She was like, because she's always in pain. She was like, so it doesn't really register. And the doctor was like, once he did all like the ultrasound and everything, he was like, you have a ridiculously high tolerance for pain. I was like, yeah, I know. That's why when they tried giving me the morphine, they gave me morphine. I was seeing fucking cats on the ceilings and bugs on the floor, and my doctor was Mr. Peanut. Like he had the freaking cane and top hat and everything. And I was like, don't give me that shit. And they were like, well, what do you want? I was just, I don't know, like, what do you got? Like something very low level because I'm good. Like you just came out of surgery, like abdominal surgery. It's gonna hurt. I didn't know I had tubing all running through my insides. I didn't know that. I didn't look. I just kind of laid there and was like, oh God, just let me sleep. And somebody get me soup because I was so hungry and I couldn't have anything solid. But when I was feeling that, I was like, just give me something minimal. And they kept like fluctuating between giving me a little bit of Demerol and then I'd get Tylenol. A little bit of Demerol, and then I get Tylenol. And I was good with that. And the doctor he was like, he said, I have patients who would kill to be on morphine right now. He was like, and you're just like, no, don't give me that. Don't give me that. He was like, you are just bizarre. I mean, because I had a really good relationship, but I scared the shit out of him when I died in recovery. He said, you went through the whole surgery perfectly. He said, we take you out of the anesthesia, put you in recovery, As soon as you open your eye, you're like, nope. And boom, that was it. Your heart rate just dropped and I just flatlined. And I mean, I know why, but he couldn't understand the fear of being violated by somebody to wake up to that and think that's what's occurring because you're in this weird, state. I always said I will never let anybody else do that to me ever in my life. You will never violate my body as long as I live and breathe. And I woke up and thought that's what they were doing, and my body shut down. Literally went from 80 to 0 in a heartbeat. Literal heartbeat just stopped. And they didn't know what the fuck to do. But it some things are shocking enough to kill you. And that was shocking enough to stop my heart. Because I would never live through it again. I didn't want to live through it again. But yeah, I scared him. But he was like, "Oh my god, all these fucking," he was like, "All these gallstones." He's like, "Do you know?" And he was showing me like with his hands how much, like it was the size of a freaking tangerine. Like everything fused together. And he was like, "I don't know how you functioned." And then when I healed and I went back to work, I was they were like, "Oh my god, where'd all the energy come from?" I was like, "I don't know." I was like, "But I could do anything." Like I was running around doing whatever because I had all this excess energy that my body wasn't redirecting to this stupid injury that I didn't know I had that it was aware of. I don't know. It was so crazy. I'm back. YouTube is wonky behind a minute. So in chat, YouTube is fucking with me. StreamYard is fucking with me. Bad. Choo, 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 choo. Take care all. Many thanks for the giggles. Going to bed again. Oh, it's 3:30 in the morning. Well, thank you for coming by, Andrew. I know you're gone by now because I'm an hour behind, but that's what I do. I talk to you guys. You know that. You accept that. I was talking to Winning about that the other day. I was like, listen, I don't go there to just, be like, oh, I gotta be up to the minute on chat. They know me. I have things I have to say. I'm not going to conform to what other people want me to do. I'm gonna do what I need and enjoy doing. Otherwise, what's the point in me being there? There's no point in me streaming if I'm not enjoying it. I don't want to be one of these people who's like, I gotta do a show today. No, I'm like, oh, I gotta do a show today. Like, and I want to be happy to come here. Ellie, Shelly, I have homework for you. What is it? Interview your mother. Oh, for the love of God. Ask her specific questions about your great grandparents and ask her to tell you stories about her as a child. The problem there is I know all her stories. I know them better than she does because now she's changing the stories and I'm like, "No, that didn't happen like that." So, but I've always been big on stories. You know that. I love to know people's backstories. And I was always there for my great-grandparents to talk and I've heard all the stories about my great-great-grandparents, my great-great-great-grandparents, their friends because Italian community is everybody's family. But I will maybe if she's in a good mood later, I'll have a conversation with her. Nerd said there's an old country song that talks about if I could get one more day with someone, it would leave me wishing for more. Well, that's the whole thing. When you have time, you get greedy with it. When you realize that there's a cap on the time that you have, you want more. You need more. You find excuses to get more. Like you're always pushing. Is she an hour behind yet? Sure am. Sure am. Thanks for noticing, Lefty. I think you were talking about 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes? Yeah. Tearjerker. Try harder, chat. You know what? You can bite my big toe. One More Day by Diamond Ray. Yes, One More Day. I know that song. I like that song. Yeah, it does make me cry. That's one of those ones that makes me cry. 8 hours of stress relief. I used bean bags against the wall. Nice. No, I just had fun going on Twitter, just blasting people. I wasn't trolling anybody. I was being quite honest in my opinions, but it was like whatever. Who said Christianity is about building walls? The Pope. Hi, Micah Hagan. Oh, how you doing, honey? The Pope said that Christianity is not about building walls; it's about building bridges, and that basically that was a slam against Trump because he's worried about building the walls for the border or whatever, and he doesn't like them, and it is what it is. It's about being obedient to God. It's about being who God intended you to be. And that's different for everybody. We have the same main set of rules, but individually, God has expectations, I believe, for all of us because He gave us all different abilities and um, capabilities, not just abilities. He gave us all different levels of tolerance and understanding and strengths and weaknesses. So we're all working on our own individual plan, but we're all playing the same board, you know? Like, I feel like we are all put down here as equals. It's just we have to figure out how to manage that. It's the management of, us all being the same on certain levels that's hard to do. I meant bridges, not walls. There's definitely walls supposed to wall of sin. Yes. But he was saying that, about the bridges. That's why I said if you really want to be a Christian, Popey, how about you build a bridge and walk all those pedophiles that you've been protecting across that bridge right into police custody and let them pay for their sins, let them pay for their crimes. Because those people that they abused aren't willing to wait for Jesus and God to pass the judgment. They need some kind of like acknowledgement now. They need to have their pain validated because they've been told for so many years, no, 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 that didn't happen. No, 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 no. They've been denied feeling what they feel. Like if you're all about being a good Christian and building bridges, all right, bring out your dirty laundry. Stop hiding behind self-righteousness and oh, I'm an instrument of God. Yes, you're an instrument of God. And so are they. And they fucked up. And that doesn't mean that it gets wiped clean. There are consequences for your actions. They needed to be held accountable and they weren't. Productive way to be violent. Yeah. Beanbags? Hell yeah, just throw shit. Revelation 22:20. All righty. Time doesn't exist. Really? We place ourselves under the constraints of time. That is true. It's just a silly stress device, 357 said. I agree with both of you. I do. I don't like time. I really don't. It's you can measure time in a concrete way with the ticking away of a clock, or you can measure it by how you feel. You can measure it by how you age. There's so many different things you can do with time, so many different ways to look at time. To me, it has way too much power in a life where it makes us feel like we're under the yoke of it. Like even if I worked for myself and did whatever for myself, time is still a boss. It's that boss you can't stand, the one that's like really just always there but doesn't really do anything, but he has the power to like, hire, fire you, give you all different duties or make your life really easy. Like that's for me is time. God relates to time as we do, but it's us that cannot relate to his time. One day is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is like a day. Yep. It's for more efficient worker bees. Oh, yeah. The little automatons that we are. Jesus is God. Yes, I'm aware of that, nerd. What I'm saying is in my mind and in many people's minds, they're one, but they're also separate. You don't picture them the same. Not true. If time didn't exist, then why did God create 7 days? He did that for us. He didn't need that. Earth rotation, seasons, moon phases, sunrise, sunsets, they're all part of time. Yeah, but they didn't exist before he invented them, before he created them. He didn't create that for him. He don't give a shit if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're the ones that need the structure. And I think he knew that we need to be able to denote passages of time so that we know how much of our life has passed and maybe have an inkling as to how much lays ahead of us so we know how to plan, so we know how to act. Maybe we're, better under pressure. Maybe we're better with no pressure. God doesn't need the time constraints. He doesn't need to mark the passage of time because he's eternal. He's forever. He always was, always is, and always will be. So time is absolutely nothing to him. He created it for us because our lives are finite. They're limited. So that's how we do it. I mean, why do we celebrate our birthdays? Because there should be one time a year where you celebrate your birth and take time with the people that you love to sit and reflect and celebrate and have a happy moment. Mark that day with a happy memory so that 50 years down the line, you can look back and go, that was a really good day. That's why we have time. But God doesn't need time, He created that for us. Let me think. 7 days to God is the same for us. They're not the same being nerd. They're separate. They're one. I'm not saying they're the same. They are one being, and yet they're separate entities as well. But again, God can do anything. So of course he could be 3 or 1. We invented it like everything else. Well, God gave us time, and then we just kind of micromanaged it. He gave us big swaths of time, and we created units. So, as we do, we take giant things and break them into pieces that we can manage on our level. Why not 48 hours in a day, or 32, or 7? Because of the cycle of the sun and all that kind of stuff. I think we did the best that we could. I did. I do. I do. I do. I do. I do. I do. Verse that explains why Christians pray in the name of Jesus is John 14:13 through 14, where Jesus says, "And I will do whatever you ask in my name, so that the Father may be glorified in the Son." That's a beautiful statement. The one that I always, I don't know, it struck me since I was very little. I believe that praying by yourself is a good thing, but when you can get together and talk about God or praise God or pray to God with another person, it means so much more because then you have this connection where you're amplifying whatever you're saying to God. You want him to realize, this is important. This may not be for me. It may not be for this other person. It might just be for you. But it's important. And, it's almost like having a love party for God. And the saying was, whenever 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I will be with you. And I believe that. I do believe that. If you've ever been in a hospital waiting room praying on somebody and somebody comes into the waiting room and takes your hand and just prays with you, the power behind that multiplies exponentially and you feel it. That's why when you go to a church or you go to a prayer meeting or you go to a gospel festival or whatever, there's power in the numbers. There's power in the energy being put out and combined and connected. And I think it's one of the most beautiful things. I really, really do. Every time it's like with the national anthem and stuff like that, there's a feeling of solidarity that moves me. There's power in making those connections, in being on the same wavelength, and of being of the same mind in a positive way. And the same is true negatively. I mean, there's a power there too. But I prefer not to be in those scenarios. I want to be around positive people. I want to be around in groups where they're just shouting out in joy and in praise and in thankfulness, gratitude, anything. Because it's just The feeling is so encompassing and so overwhelming. It literally permeates straight through me. Like, I feel it hit me in my soul. It, like, goes through right to the marrow of my bones. And for somebody who hates crowds, I love when people get together and are of the same mind in a positive way. It just I can't tell you how it invigorates me. It's amazing. It's one of the most amazing feelings I've ever had in my life. And I search for that sometimes. Sometimes I'm just like, I just need to just be with a couple people who are on the same wavelength right now because there's power there. I love that. I absolutely love that. I believe God is a God of order and with purpose. Everything has a purpose. Yes, everything under heaven has a purpose. I believe that. Flesh, mind, and spirit. Yep, those I believe they all work together, and it's up to you to figure out how to balance them and how to make the most of the strengths and how to minimize the weaknesses of all of them. Fight jokes only. Nobody better shame me for my belief in unicorns. Girl, stop. You can believe in unicorns, nargles, whatever the fuck you want. You know what a nargle is, right? That's from Harry Potter. Um, I encourage imaginative thinking. Create your own fantasy world because sometimes this one just sucks. But only visit it. Don't live there. Visit. If Christ and God were the same, Christ would not have prayed to the Father in the Garden of Gethsemane. Gethsemane. All right. Heidi's got a call. Like I said, I believe that they're simultaneously one and separate. Because what can't God do? That's the thing. If you're not spiraling up, you're spiraling down, onwards and upwards. That's right, Mike. I've missed you, by the way. How you doing, dude? Shelly, you helping me, so there's that. Deal with it. You give me peace. I give you peace? Oh my goodness, I give anybody peace? I didn't think I could bring peace to anybody. Where'd the sun go? You know how I told you like 10 minutes ago that the fucking sky had not a cloud? It's all clouds. Son of a bitch. Don't snow. Not again. Stop it. I want another day with no snow. God damn it. But I'm glad I'm helping you, 357. I love it when you come here. Shelly, you got too much love in you. It's consequential to all of us and your kiddos. That's real mean. You're not a waste, you're a blessing. I think I know what you're talking about what my family used to say. They still say it. Doesn't matter. Whether they want me here or not, I'm here. Deal with it, bitches. Scott, how you doing? Logic always told me never make a choice that's permanent to solve a temporary problem. I say that for a lot of people that are going through hard times. Don't pick a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Don't, because this too shall pass. I know it seems like it won't, but I don't know if you've been around. My favorite saying is when you find yourself going through hell, keep going. What's the point in stopping? It doesn't make sense to do anything except keep going because eventually you're going to reach the end of it. You know, you're going to find yourself walking out of that hell that you found yourself in. What are the alternatives? To stop and stagnate there and just live there forever? That's unacceptable to me. Or to go backwards, which means that you're just going through hell in a different direction. But you're still going through hell. And then what are you going to do when you get back to the beginning? You still got to go through it to get the fuck where you got to be. It just doesn't make sense to me to turn around and go the other way or to stand still. Like if you're going through hell, get off your ass. I don't care if you move a hair at a time. Keep moving forward because eventually you'll find your way out of it. I believe that. I do. I've heard it said that when someone reaches out to help, it's more about them feeling good instead of wanting to help. That's not true. When people reach out to help, sometimes it's because they can't stand to see somebody else going through pain. And there are people who actually feel what other people feel. I do this weird thing, and I don't like when people know it. I pick up on like all different vibes from people. Now, I don't like the word empathetic because I think it's overused. People like say, "I have empathy. I'm an empath." I'm not an empath. I'm a person. And I just have this thing where I pick up on the feelings of others most of the time, whether they say hello and I'm like, "What's the matter?" Yeah, and they're like, "Nothing. All I said was hello." I can tell. Like, because the feeling hits me before the words ever leave their mouth. And they don't have to be in the room. Like, they don't even have to be near me. Usually, it's just like I feel like I have weird sensors that go off. That's like there's an issue over here. This person needs a little extra love. This one needs a little talking to. Like, and my mind automatically says, "Okay, you got to do this. And I have to like meet all those individual needs because I can feel how they're feeling. Like, and I don't want them to feel that way. If I can change it, if I can make it better, I absolutely will every time. Doesn't matter what it costs me. And that doesn't mean I don't think that's a great thing. I really don't. I wish I didn't do that because it's draining, because it doesn't leave much for me. And because I don't get that in return a lot, throughout my life, it's just been a constant one-way street for me. And I'm so over one-way relationships. They're not for me. And I abused myself by allowing them my entire life. And I don't want to do that anymore. So it's two-way or no way. Like that's just how it's got to be. And part of me doesn't think I deserve it, but the bigger part of me longs for it so deeply that I'm going to pursue it. I am going to try to stick to putting my energy into relationships that are a two-way street. It doesn't matter what form that relationship comes in, friendship, like acquaintance, lover, it doesn't matter. It's got to be an exchange, an equal exchange. Not an exact exchange, like, it doesn't have to be the same back and forth, it just has to be on level, it has to be balanced. True, 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 but I don't help people so I could, pat myself back, "Oh, look, you did this." Most of the time, if I help somebody, I don't want it brought up ever. I don't want you to mention it because it's gonna embarrass me. I don't do good with tender. I just don't. Like, I don't do good with praise. I didn't always feel like that, but I did at one point. Oh, for the logic? Yeah, for the don't pick a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's hard to feel that way when you're in it. Um, Ellie said God didn't intend for us to be alone, otherwise he wouldn't have made Eve and the choice that led to them having children. There you go. I appreciated the snorts. Outpost nerd. I've screamed for help and I've gotten silence in return. Well, you're screaming at the wrong people. That, or you're listening for a very specific response and missing the response you're getting. One thing I've learned about people and God, don't go into it expecting to get a set response. If you're in need, then you have to lay that out and say, "Look, this is my issue." If you want them to do something specific, tell them I need you to this, and this. Because that's the only way they're going to meet that need in the way you want it met is if they know. They're not mind readers. Let the snort flow. No, no, no. 357. I already snort, laughed, and spilled coffee already. No, I'm not. I don't spill coffee. That's a sacrilege. How dare you? Beer coffee. There you go. Beer coffee. That sounds gross. Um, Ellie said, nerd, maybe you're just so little people can't hear you. Yell louder. No, I make enough noise and punch enough shins for people to notice. Aw. And we all know why you punch shins, right? There you go. I love that one. It's just so fucking funny. Your pocket size. Yes, you are. I'm gonna put you in my pocket. Ever been bitten by an ant? You notice despite the size. Yeah, but those are fire ants. They're special. God, those fucking hurt. Jesus, you feel that in your entire body. Oh, and it's snowing. Sack of shit. Really? I mean, God, are you sitting there? Where are you when I'm like, oh, I need $1 million? When I say, oh shit, it's gonna snow. I hope it doesn't snow. You make it snow. When I say the sun is out, you put the clouds. But when I say, hey, I have bills, nothing. Suddenly you're deaf, dumb, and blind to everything I'm saying. What's going on? How fickle. See, God appreciates my sense of humor. When somebody's sick and addiction is just that, people need to support the addict, not shit on them, trash talk them, or grift off of them. That's true, but some people do need a kick in the ass. They really do. Oh, stop, you love it. I do love you guys. One slip off the pedal, not fun. Oh, wait, 357 said, my bicycle's my shin abuse. 250 miles this month, and I feel that's awesome, though. One slip off the pedal, not fun. Start shit. Let's go, Shell. I know. I'm an hour behind. Well, I'm not paying for hair food. I gotta speak. I don't love everybody, Scott said. I can't. I do know that Jesus does, and that's good enough for me. I'm not gonna love everybody. I'm not some paragon of fucking virtue. I'm a bitch on wheels. Like that's or on my feet or sitting down, whatever. But I'm a bitch. I fully embrace that. But I don't have to be a complete bitch 24/7. She's just always there ready to go into the fight if necessary. Ellie, I finished breakfast. Everyone will live. Nice. There's less hangry in me now. I want to eat something because the last thing I ate was a half a hamburger at 4:00 yesterday afternoon. That's why I'm like chugging this coffee like it's ugh. 357 won't be held responsible. She was touching her face. We were merely freshmen. Oh Lord. I don't even want to know where that's Snipperoony said. I'm a little behind, been there, through that. Been there. Thought that. There you go. Thankfully, I've gotten beyond that. Barely. Know that you're important. It's hard to feel important when you've been told your whole life you're not. That was a nip slip. Thanks. Nice. Self Lundgren graduated from Clemson University. All right. Old Vanilla Ice just dropped another. Saw. Still rocking his 5.0 Mustang from the original video. How time flies, right? I don't think YouTube knows what I am. Cool. Fuck YouTube. She's not blind anymore. Yeah, I know. I can see. It's amazing. Way colder with no clouds. Well, now it's all clouds. Everything is gray again. It was so nice when everything was all bright and shiny. I love bright and shiny. Pardon for Dr. Mangala. Oh, dear God. I'm being a giant emotional baby too, Shelly. Oh, well. You are what you are. You know what? As long as you come here and you do it here, and then when you can't be that, you don't have to be. But when you can and you feel the need, just be that. Fuck it. Nobody's going to judge you here. You just judge me for being an hour behind in chat because I take the time to talk. Cloud cover holds a layer of warmth and clear skies create a solar induction, which makes it colder. I did not know that, Scott. Thank you very much. I like little tidbits like that. Now, see, that's something I probably will never forget. This is what I say when I'm a font of useless information. I just pick up little tidbits here and there, and then they're just there forever. NDCQ, not dead, can't quit. Okay. Uh, it's 54 degrees here today. I might go on a drive to the city. Well, isn't that nice for you? Yesterday was like the worst. I had to get deliveries, and it was just like each delivery took like 3 hours instead of the standard like 20, like 25 minutes. It was ridiculous, and I tipped so well too. Everyone has to have a reason to fight as well, something to fight for. Yeah, I see. I've never had nothing to fight for except when I was a teenager, which is, of course, why I killed myself. Like, so why I just didn't care. I was done. It was too much pain, no love, no support, and nothing to live for. What was I living for? I was living to please other people? Like, no. That was it. It was just, that was the end of the line for me. Unfortunately, God was like, you know what? Nope. Not done with you yet. I'm not done. Take her out, play with her a little bit more. And then I had my daughter, and I had a reason to live. And then I had Connor, and I not only had a reason to live, I had hope for the future. Because let's face it, as much as I love my daughter, she's been 6 and she's 22 months old. And there's 11 years between her and Connor. That was 10 years of doctors and tests and crying and, trying to help her and not having answers and fighting and just, it was a lot. It was a lot. So I had all this unconditional love and care for my daughter, but the joyous moments were few and far between. And it was hard. Every day was a struggle. So with my son, it was different. I swear God gave him to me at that time to cleanse me of all the anger and the fear that I had gone through with my daughter, trying to get her to where she didn't die on me, to fight what every single doctor said was going to happen. For a kid that was supposed to be dead before she was 6, she's 29. Fucking A, man. Like, it was worth every bit of anger and fight I went through with her, with all the medical crap. And then God gave me Connor and cleansed me of all that. And I knew joy again, and she knew joy again. I mean, he gave that to both of us. We were both very different after he was born. So yeah, you don't know. You just got to keep going. I had to go through hell before we found, the rainbow at the end. That bright shining light that was my son. He's a pain in my ass and he drives me insane, but I don't know what I would do without him. And neither does Katie. He walks in a room, she lights up. And all he's got to do is just like push her head or like, give her a noogie or whatever. And she's set for days. She's just happy. Like, she's just happy. She just soaks the happiness up. And then and that makes him happy. That makes me happy. And it's a nice little, it's a nice interaction. I look forward to those days. We have at least 2 or 3 of them a week. It's nice. And then there's always one day where I'm like, oh God, why? Like, why? Took the bike out this morning, was 25. Wind chill smacked me in the face. I bet it did. There's still ice on the road. StreamYards was messing up on me yesterday. Yeah, StreamYards sucks. If you're running into first and your pants are gonna burst, diarrhea. Diarrhea. These are from Ellie, by the way. If you're running into second and you can't win another second, diarrhea. Diarrhea. Ellie, you nerd, you don't know that movie. If you're running into third and you laid a juicy turd, diarrhea. Sniper Rudy said, what the fuck, I'm eating lunch. Not anymore. If you're running into home and your pants are full of foam, diarrhea. Diarrhea. You're welcome. If you're in the pool and you feel something cool, ill. Okay, first of all, if you're in the pool and you feel so, how many of you have cool shit? Because that you might want to see a doctor. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Parenthood, one of the best movies. Hell yeah. I love that movie. Life is a journey, not a destination. That's true. And it doesn't come with a handbook. That is very true, Mike. Very fucking true. Life's a dance. You learn as you go. Oh, I love this when you guys start giving me all these different lines and lyrics. It's great. Life's a dance. You learn as you go. John Michael Montgomery told me that. There you go. Have you ever tried Laird Hamilton's functioning mushrooms? I sprinkle it in my coffee. I have not had that. I actually drink mushroom coffee. That's what I have whenever I have coffee. I don't drink regular coffee anymore. I'll make regular coffee and add it to the mushroom coffee to give it a little kick, but that's not every day because I don't. I've noticed that when I have too much like caffeine from coffee, I don't get jittery. I get very brain foggy. It does not make me more alert at all. I don't know why. Like if I have a soda, don't kill me winning. But like if I have liquid candy, that caffeine will give me like a little boost and I'll be like, kind of like upbeat or whatever. But it doesn't affect my cognition. If I have too much coffee, like if I have a regular coffee every single day, the brain fog has a higher likelihood of taking over. It's a lot stronger. Whereas if I have the mushroom coffee, I've seen that my mind is a lot clearer. Uh, I'm able to not just process the thoughts in current time, I'm able to run 10, 20 programs in the background at the same time without them glitching on me. So it's much better for me to drink the mushroom coffee. It's a little pricier, but not as tasty. Some of them that I've tried taste a little bit too much like dirt, but it is what it is. Like if it's good for me, it's not always gonna taste great. Whatever. It's not crazy expensive, and I think it works quite well for brain health. Well, I'll try it. Laird Hamilton. Wait, I gotta write it down. Where's my pen? Oh, here it is. All right. Laird Hamilton mushrooms. All right, I will look into that. It's not crazy expensive. Okay, beautiful people, I'm gonna go chop some firewood. There you go. Go sweat. He said, "Be safe. Y'all are loved, and we love you too, honey. Glad to have you here. Be careful chopping wood, man. Remember, aim for the wood, not your leg, because that would be bad." Scott said, "I used to cut and split firewood 5 semi-loads a year for 2 households." Oh Lord, I can't. Like I tried when we it was me and my husband camping, and he had like the little axe or whatever. And I was like, "What are you cutting with that?" He was like, "Firewood." I was like, "You ain't cutting firewood with that little hatchet. What are you kidding me?" And he was like, "No, you could do it." I was like, "Yeah, watch." And I remember I took it and I did like I would with a regular axe, and all it did was bounce off the fucking thing. And he goes, "What was that?" I was like, "You do it then." He couldn't do it. I said, "When you have a hatchet, you don't go down the middle of the log. You start on the edges. You're gonna get a lot smaller pieces." But it was a tiny little hatchet and a big fucking log. I was like, "No, you gotta be smart about this." He was never smart about anything. Back from the phone call. It took way too long. 31 minutes behind. You're still ahead of me. Your love too at 3:57. Aw, lass, you're so sweet. I love you guys. I really do. Good night. Good night, Lord. Gotta go. Take care of. Bye bye, Snipperoony. I will see you later. When parents become grandparents, it's something ironic because all the rules that raised you suddenly don't apply to your kids. I wish that was true in this house. She's just as much of an asshole with them as she is with me. Uh, and now they know it. That's why you have to live in the present, Mike said. Um, we define what an hour is, what a day is, what a month is, what a year is. You could say, okay, 7 days came from the Bible, but we still made that a week. That's true. That's true. We put the time constraints. We micromanage. I don't know why we do that, but we do. There's no such thing as having too much love in somebody. They're here for a reason, and I'm blessed because they exist. Yeah, I don't feel bad about loving people ever. When somebody's like, "Oh, it's such a shame. You love them so much and they just." Okay, but my ability to love them, that has nothing to do with who like what they did. It has to do with what I saw in them. Whatever they wound up being, that's their choice. But what I saw, I found worthy and I gave the opportunity for attachment and love grew from there. Respect grows from there. Trust grows from there. Um, Going back to phone and just listening, about to run some errands. Awesome, Ellie. Be careful. Scott said true empathy comes from a deep understanding and a lot of introspection, not what currently is being pushed. It's true. It's very true. Which is why I just don't like the saying. I don't like the word, to be honest. I'm glad it brings you joy. So that does. It does. It brings me joy. Mind readers, I hear the saying echo from my frustrated mom. Why can't you just know? If you know, you know. Absolutely. And I've thought that so many times. I'm like, why don't you get it? Like, why can't I crawl inside your head? Or can I just take your consciousness and put it in my head so you can hear everything going on there and you can see how it makes sense to me and just then put it in back in your head and now it's yours? Because I know what the fuck is up, but I can't seem to get through to you. Like, it's so frustrating. Like, it's you're like, "Why can't you just" My head is killing me, so I'm gonna go take a nap. Good night, nerd. Have a nice little nap. Love you later. Alright, I hope you feel better. Uh, Scott said, "I used to fight my parents for the right to receive love, and as I grew up, that changed. I had to fight to survive, which is a strange place to be as a kid in a family. We all have our crosses to bear." I mean, I get that, fighting to survive as a kid in a family. I've been doing that since the day I was born. Uh, People that don't go through it, they don't understand it. They really don't. Uh, Last said those stupid doctors don't know anything. They told me I wouldn't live to see my oldest graduate high school. Two sets twins later, and my first will be 29 in a week and a half. Oh my goodness. Our kids are the same age. I mean, wait, so you have they're what, 5 years old? And then you have the 18-year-old and the 29-year-old, or the 22-year-old, and then the how old are your damn kids? Because it's so hard to keep them straight sometimes because there's so many of you, and that's the type of information I don't always retain. Uh, Much like names, this is why handles are great because I suck at names. Just so you know. Do, 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 do. Heidi, so true, Scott. Um, our own crosses to bear, but as we're created for relationship and to help in bearing one another's burdens. Galatians 6:2. But that doesn't mean we're doormats and shouldn't have boundaries. That's true. It's good to have boundaries, but I just never learned. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't know if I didn't learn to have boundaries. By the way, I'm caught up in chat. Uh, it's a thing. Um, what was I saying? God damn it. And by the way, yes, happy birthday to your oldest. Um, a week and a half. So what is that? That's a February baby? That's a pre-Valentine's baby? God damn it, I was gonna say something, I can't remember what it was. Last said, oh, boundaries. Thank you, Heidi. My oldest will be 29 February 3rd. Okay. And my first set of twins will be 19. Okay, so we do have kids the same freaking age. I just don't have the little itty bitty one. Okay, that's so weird how you and I have so many different parallels. 3 Aquarius babies. Well, it's just you just got a certain kind of feeling at a certain time of year. See, like I know exactly when I conceived both my kids. The ones I lost, unfortunately, I also know when I conceived them. But Katie was conceived on her father's birthday because that was the only time I did it in that area of time because I was at school and that was a special trip that I made. And baby. And Connor, I know his conception date. I know the fucking time and everything. Only because it was the only time I had sex in an entire calendar year. That's why when the doctor was like, "No, we think that," I was like, "No, I'm telling you when I conceived." Like, there's no mystery to this. I only did it once in a 12-month period. Trust me. That's you know, that's when it happened. But it's funny. But yeah, boundaries. I didn't know that you could have boundaries. I knew there were rules, all the rules I had to follow, but I didn't know that personal boundaries were a thing because I was never allowed to set any. And if you don't know that something exists, you can't use it. If you don't know how to implement it, it's useless if you do know about it. And if nobody respects it, the implementation doesn't mean shit. So boundaries have never been a great thing for me, which is why I don't have any personal ones. Like I don't have the personal bubble. I don't have a physical boundary. I will just jump on anybody because it doesn't occur to me that people don't want to be touched. Because I mean, I can feel it when somebody has like that wall up, that invisible physical wall. I can sense that no matter what. The thing is, when you tell me not to do something, there's nothing else in the world I want to do more. So if you're like, I don't hug, challenge accepted because I'm gonna make you love hugs. Hell, I'll get you to the point where you can't wait to hug me. That's just how I am. Christine was always like that. Don't touch me. And I'd be like, mm-hmm. And I'd wait. I'd bide my time. And as soon as I saw like a little opening in that wall, boom, I was on her. And she she would like, she'd raise up her fist. She'd make a fist and be like she was gonna punch me. I'd be like, just remember you love me. And she'd be like, oh yeah. And it's all right. I'm gonna take away those little defensive things you got with me, once and for all. It's just gonna take me a while. And now it's like, we don't really have any walls between us. Like if I want to hug her, if I see her, I'll just fucking hug her. And she'll be happy about it. My mother's husband is walking down the street and I don't know why he's staring at my window. But anyway, 3 Aquarius babies, huh? That's awesome. Scott said, I had friends that later met my mom and came back and said to me, how did you survive her? I mean, y'all have met mother. Jesus, you've heard her. I laughed because I didn't want to talk about it all day. Right? You're just like, she's a funny one, like ha 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 ha, and that's it. You just move on. No idea on conception, but I know we found out on Halloween. Nice. That's a nice little like flag to plant in that holiday. Like, what do you love most about Halloween? It's when I found out we were gonna have a baby. Like, that's a nice memory. I like that. Heidi said my oldest will be 28 in April. Damn, middle 22. Youngest just turned 21. See, you had a nice little cluster all together with the right amount of years like between them. I don't know. It felt I didn't want to have another kid after Katie because I didn't feel that it would be fair to her or fair to the other kid because she needed so much of my attention and somebody was going to suffer for it. And when I got pregnant when I was married, I was thrilled because I did want to have babies with this man that I married. But I was like, all right, there's two of us, so it'll be easier. There'll be more attention and love to go around. And then I miscarried, and that was the end of that. And I just figured, all right, I'm just not gonna have any babies because he doesn't want babies. That's one of the reasons that he used to deny me sex. He did not want to fucking have babies. And I am fertile myrtle. You stand next to me, I get pregnant. So I knew that dream was dead. That's why after I divorced him and everything else, I was just like, just concentrate on Katie. I didn't expect a pop up from, like a guy I used to be with, like that I hadn't seen in 10 years, literally 10 years. And then just 3 minutes later, pregnant, like, oh shit, like, how'd that happen? But it was meant to happen. God had everything in the works because I don't know that I would be here without him. That boy lit a spark in me that had gone out many, many years before. I really do think that God purposely gave him such a pure soul that it purified mine again. It actually breathed life into it. He's my miracle. They're both my miracles. She's a miracle for surviving, but he was the miracle that gave us back love and life. He gave me the will to live, and he gentled me a lot. He really did. Weird. I had the same response about my dad. Right? You're just like, I love when people are like, really? That's your family? Are you sure? Were you adopted? That's the one I get all the time. Were you adopted? No. Are you sure? I'm certain. Unfortunately, all tests say no. Uh, some people shouldn't have kids, but that's my opinion. It's true, Scott. It's true. It's not for me to decide. It's up to God. Yeah, God's going to give you what you can handle. I believe in that, but I also believe that God is always going to give you a little bit more than you can handle because he wants you to, level up, be better. He thinks you can handle it. You don't think you can handle it. And I think he gives you to the threshold and then pushes it just a little bit more because he wants you to succeed. Last said, it's somebody that I used to know. There's so many songs with that in it. Winning reality. Hello, honey. How are you? Oh, look there. I missed the I in the last chat. Whatever. You're just someone that I used to know. There's so many songs with that line. There's so many songs with that line. My kids were all surprised, as Heidi said. And yep, I was fertile Myrtle, even on birth control. No, my body rejects birth control. It makes me violently sick. I might. It rejects it like the instant you give me birth control. It's like, no, 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 no. We don't want that. Nope. No, I'm gonna make you so sick you're gonna wish you were dead. It's like, oh, okay, great. 20 years ago, found out from surgery that I shouldn't have been able to conceive and carry to term. Not enough room. Isn't that funny? You wind up with 3 kids after being told that you're never gonna carry them because it's just not gonna happen for whatever reason. I mean, they told me that what Carlos did to me when he beat me until I miscarried. He damaged my reproductive organs so badly that I would never, ever conceive because he changed the positioning of everything. Like, literally, there was no way with what he did for me to conceive. And so I didn't worry about it. I also wasn't having sex with anybody because I was terrified of being touched. But it took what, 5 years for my body to get to the point where it was okay. We're good. We're gonna have babies. Let's make babies. And then I went to the doctor, and he was like, like you're not fine. You have all this scar tissue. It's still not in the right place. It's the wrong position. This is damaged. That is damaged. But you're pregnant. I don't. He couldn't explain it. And then after I had Katie, like things moved, and your uterus expands to hold the baby, and then it went back. And when it went back, it went into a better position than the one it was originally put in. And so I became really fertile myrtle. So it was just like, even the doctor was like, you need to be on birth control. I was like, no, I really don't. I was like, I just need to not have sex. Every single fucking time I had sex after I had Katie, I either had a pregnancy scare where it was like, you get to like you're late, so you might be, but it's not really viable yet, and something happens. So I don't count those. That happen a lot. But yeah, there were pregnancies that my body I just couldn't sustain them for whatever reason. But I was getting pregnant all the time. And the doctor was like, you need to be on birth control. No, 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 I'm good. I'm good. I really wanted like a dozen babies. That's what I wanted. I wanted a brood. I did not want to grow up with no kids around me, with no grandkids around me. I wanted a full, loud, boisterous home. I got the loud part. I think like whoever was listening to my prayers and wishes needed to listen a little closer because it's definitely loud. It's just not full of children and boisterous. But I'm happy with what I have, and I'll make do, and I will make the most of what is given to me. And I will appreciate what I have because there are people out there who would kill to have what I have. And I know that. I'm well aware of that. And I feel bad for them. I wish I could do something for them, but I love what I have. Always appreciate what you're given, even if it drives you insane. Uh, Insanity can be fun. That said, I believe God gives us all the chance to grow to understand what we're called to do or be. Yeah, I do. And when we ignore that, he has a way of going, okay, I'm gonna let you ignore me once, twice. Now here, you get a timeout. You sit here and I'm gonna make you listen. And he creates scenarios where you have no choice but to pay attention to what he's trying to tell you. That's where I find myself. I'm on this very unexpected journey because I didn't listen for my whole life. I listened to the wrong things. I didn't listen to God. I didn't listen to my own inner voice. I didn't give them the power they deserved. I listened to other people and I gave them power and I shouldn't have because they didn't deserve it. And they abused it. And now I'm undoing all of that. Part of it is fun. I enjoy learning things about myself I didn't know, but some of it is really heartbreaking because you look back and I'm like, I had all these years, all this time to get it right, and I didn't. What in the hell makes me think I'm going to get it right now? Well, because I'm running out of time. I'm entering hopefully the second half of my life, and I want to get it better than I got the first 50 years. I want to be better. I want to be happier. I want to be better for other people. I don't want to be a negative influence in the world. I want to help the world grow and get healthier and get stronger in the right ways. So I have to really lean into my belief system. And I don't think if If I hadn't gotten sick, I would have never taken the time to do that. So I try to see what happened to me as a benefit and not as a punishment. Like that God did this because he thought I deserved to live better and this was the only way to get me there. His version of better and mine might not always be the same. That's something else I have to reconcile with. Scott said, winning reality hell. There you go. All my kids were planned in an unplanned way. Ellie. I got married later and we agreed no stopping it since we're old. There you go. There you go. My ex was told she can never carry a child to term. We ended up having 6 boys. Jesus. Oh my goodness, 6 boys. God, that's like see, I'm built for boys. I would love to have an entire like little baseball team. Like all of them. Yeah, I'm made more for boys. I lack that I don't know, that uber girliness that some girls require, that daughters require. Probably because I grew up at a gas station. But no, I'm built more for boys. I understand boys better. God is amazing at proving doctors wrong. Yeah, he really is. God's amazingly good at that. I knew what you meant, Heidi. He's just and he's amazing at providing. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Uh, lady said, fertile myrtle, all surprises. My first, I was 17 when I had her. Second pregnancy, I was 17 when I had her. Second pregnancy, I got pregnant a month after getting married. Jesus. Um, twins. And then the third pregnancy, I remarried for 3 years. And then over 40, surprise, another set of twins. Ah, God, I envy you. I really do. I really do. It was the career I never knew I wanted. It's the only one I ever wanted. It was the only one I ever wanted. Yeah, I wanted to be a wife, but not as much as I wanted to be a mother. I picked out my kids' names when I was 3. I literally put it in a damn assignment for school. That's the only reason I know that I picked them out at that time because I didn't remember how old I was, but I was going through all my paperwork and stuff and like, for moving. And I was like, holy shit, look. Oh my God. I wrote about my kids when I was in grammar school and I already knew their names. Granted, I had to change Connors because I couldn't name him Thomas because Tommy was in jail for murder. But at the time, he wasn't in jail for murder. At the time, he was just like my ex, and that would not have gone over well. Um, he was also one of my best friends, but everybody knew about Tommy that knew me, so that would not have gone over well. And I certainly wasn't naming him after his father because no, Heriberto. Heriberto. That's no. It's, name after my father. What's your father's name? Uh, what? Oh, what the hell is his father's name? Gilberto. I was like, I'm not naming my son Gilbert. It's not happening. Like, I'm not naming him Herbert. I'm not naming him Gilbert. I'm not giving him any of those weirdo fucking names. But I always loved the name Connor because, many reasons. But I always loved the way they said it in Endgame, not Marvel Endgame, in Highlander Endgame. When Rachel comes into the antique store and she's calling for him and she's like, Connor, Connor, are you here, Connor? And I just the way she says it it just makes me happy. I don't know why. And I will call my son like that once in a while. Instead of the way my mother calls him, Connor. Like, if I knew that it was going to be pronounced like that, I would have skipped it. But like I'll be like, Connor, Connor. And he always knows that I'm in a really good mood when I call him like that. Because he's like, yeah. But it's all I ever wanted to be was a mom. I was born to be a mom. That's just if ever I had to pick like one label for me forever to describe me to anybody that comes along, it would be mom. Because I love to mother people. I really do. I love to take care of people. I love to, be there to listen to them, to talk to them, provide, to always be the place where they feel loved and safe. Like that's who I am. I love to nurture people. So being a mom was always the penultimate goal for me. And it just irritated me that I only had two. I love my two. I love my two, but I wanted so much more. Nothing else really mattered. I guess that's why teaching was a really good thing for me because I got to be a mama to tons and tons of kids that desperately needed it and weren't getting it at home. That was very fulfilling for me. If it wasn't for what they were doing to these kids, I would have never left. I would have never left teaching. I would have worked for absolute peanuts regardless. Yes, mother. Okay. Okay. All right. Have fun. Be careful. Bye. Apparently they're going out. But yeah, no, like all I ever wanted to do was to be a good influence on these kids, but I couldn't. Between what I was going through physically and mentally with the whole Lyme disease and then the lymphedema and like the whole craziness of that, from the jibby jab, that and watching what they were doing and knowing I was powerless to change anything that they were doing with the pronouns and the transgenders and the books filled with nothing but minority women, so, like, apparently white women don't have any accomplishments and they shouldn't be talked about at all, and apparently our history doesn't really matter unless it's in context of telling them how they got screwed out or whatever and how they should feel bad for this one and that one and that one and that one because we were just so unjust in the past. Shut up. Like, I just couldn't take it. I couldn't take it with the masks and the and the constant laptops and the no hands-on learning, no crafts, no creativity. It was just here, just read this and press the button, read this and press the button, read this and press the button. That's not teaching to me. It's just not. And it broke my heart what they were doing to these kids because I watched more and more of these kids fall behind. They hated coming to school. My own kid hated going to school because he said, I'm not happy there. I'm bored, number one. Number two, all it is just rules and stupid shit. Like they want me to believe what they want me to believe, but I don't believe that. Like I have a different opinion, but I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed to have my own opinion. I'm not allowed to think about something. I have to read these things that are disgusting. He's like, I have to do all this stuff. I have to do math their way. It doesn't make sense their way. I can do it a lot quicker my way and I'll be right every time. And he wasn't wrong. He was right. They used to use his math paper as the friggin' answer key. They didn't even think about it. But they made him hate school because he wasn't learning. He wasn't enjoying the journey of knowledge. Like acquiring knowledge is a journey and it's one you should enjoy. You know, it should have something to do with your own interest, with sparking your interest or growing your interest. They didn't care what he was interested in. They wanted him to do what they wanted him to do, believe whatever we tell you. And he was like, no, that don't make sense. Same thing. My kindergartners, I never had a class that was expected to do so much that was developmentally completely inappropriate, and watch them have their self-confidence and their self-esteem chipped away at until they were just sitting there and just obedient little lapdogs. I hated it. I hated it. I like rambunctious children. I like kids who wanna, go get their hands dirty in the sand thing and, like, pretend they're a dinosaur and create, like, like a whole scenario and play out an entire story that them and three other kids have created, out of no out of thin air. That to me is amazing that they can do that. They don't do that anymore. Here's your computer, sit down, shut up. Here's your processed breakfast, processed lunch. And oh, tell us about your home life. And they get the information out of these kids. They do. They information farm with these kids because they want to know what's going on at home because they might need it as leverage later. I can't do that. I didn't want to do that. I miss seeing the light in a kid's eyes when they get it. That was the best feeling for me. Teaching one of these kids and knowing, I know you're struggling. I know you're so close though. Let's just get you there. And then just something offhanded they would connect the dots and you'd see it on their face. And they would literally like just puff up in pride. I lived for those moments. And that's all gone now. I hope it comes back. I do. I hope it comes back. Because that was some of the best, most proud moments I had in my life were of watching those kids realize how intelligent and how creative they could be. For them to get a glimpse of the potential that I always saw in them. Now they're just pushed down and told, no, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this, you got to do that. It's a travesty. We're doing them a terrible injustice. I'm going back out. Sorry, last puffer smiles. How far behind am I? Oh, not far behind. I'm only 7 minutes behind. Look at that. Son's named after David. Idea being the world is Goliath. Aw, I actually like that. That's very clever. That is very clever. That's awesome, Mike. Love that show. Which show? I forgot what we were talking about. Puffer Smiles. Weird share. I wasn't about to name my son Arthur. Nothing wrong with it. He would have been a baby junior Art senior, Art junior, then my kid. Nope. I had a friend named Arthur. My friend Artie. I never called him Artie to his face. I used to call him Smiley. Because you know me, I give people nicknames. And he had an amazing smile. He would smile with his entire face. Like it looked like he had this little mouth, but when he smiled, he had such a wide smile. It would push his cheeks all the way back and it would push like the apples of his cheeks up into like under his eyes and then his eyes would close. And so he just hit and he had these beautiful like big white teeth, perfectly straight, perfectly, they're probably capped. Wow, who the hell knows? But gorgeous teeth. And when he smiled, it was his whole face smiled. And you couldn't help but smile back at him. So I used to call him Smiley. I'd known him since I was 14. My youngest grandson is named Arthur. There you go. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just, when you look at your kid, you're like, no. Like, look at my daughter's father. He's Miguel the third. His son is Miguel the fourth. I'm like, see, this is why when I got pregnant by you, I sat down, I looked up, and I said, God, do not make my baby a boy. Don't do it to me. I refuse to have a Miguel the fourth. I refuse because I knew he was going to make me name that baby Miguel. And nope. And he was like, you're going to have my son. I was like, I'm not having your son. Yeah, you are. You don't know yet. I was like, no, see, God loves me. I'm having a girl. He's like, no, I want you to have a boy. It ain't about what you want. It's about what I want. And sure enough, I went for that ultrasound. They were like, girl. I was like, told you. He was mad. He was so mad. And I did the same thing for Eddie when I got pregnant with Connor. I wasn't even 4 weeks pregnant, and he was like, "Go ahead, what's the feeling?" I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have a boy." And he was, "You had a girl before." I was like, "Yeah, but you already have a daughter, you don't have a son." I was like, "And I need you to have a son if it's gonna mean anything to you." I was like, "And I already have a daughter, I don't want her to compete with another girl because you figure she was handicapped." She says, "I didn't want her to have a sister that she got to see go do everything that she ever wanted to do and could." I think that would have been the cruelest thing to do to her. And so I wanted a boy. And I told God, I was like, "Don't do it to Katie. It's not right." I was like, "And he doesn't need another girl. He's already got a daughter. He doesn't have a son. He's probably never going to have a son if I don't give him one. So it's just best all around. And I already have a daughter. I would really like a son because I think this is probably the last one for me." And sure enough, we went and they were like, "Oh, the baby won't let us see." I was like, "Oh, come on." Poke my son. I was like, "Come on, mommy wants to see if you're a boy or girl." And he just went, "Rip, there it is." He opened his legs and was like, there you go. There's my penis. There it is." And they were like, "Oh, it's a boy." I was like, "Yeah." So those are pretty much the only 2 times in life I ever got what I wanted. But I knew. I mean, I had a dream about Katie when I was only 6 weeks pregnant. I woke up and I woke up next to Miguel, and he was like, "What's the matter?" Because I was hitting him, and I'm like, "Wake up, wake up, wake up," because he slept like the dead. And he was, "Why?" I was like, "Oh my God, I dreamt about Katie." And he was like, "Who?" I said, "Our daughter." And he was like, he's just looking at me like kind of blank. I was like, "All right, my daughter, Katie, I had a dream about it. And this is what she looks like." And he was like, "Uh huh." And I described her to a T. And sure enough, when she was born, I took one look. And after I got done crying because she looked like Miguel, I was like, "Yep, she looks just like the dream." She had the same hairs. The only thing that was different was the nose. She got his nose. In the dream, I gave her mine. But no, she got his nose. That's why I said she looks like a monkey. But I mean, it's better now. But when she was born, it was bad. Like her nostrils were so big. I cried so bad. And Connor, I knew what Connor was gonna look like way before I had him. And we didn't have the 3D or whatever those ultrasounds. Mine was just a plain old fashioned ultrasound with the skeleton. That was it. But I knew. I knew. I knew what he was gonna look like. And I knew he'd be perfect. That's why when he was born, I was like, "You're perfect. Nobody's ever gonna be good enough for you. And nobody's ever gonna love you like your mama." I still tell him that. I'll hug him and I'll be like, "Nobody's ever gonna love you as much as your mama." He's like, "I know." I'm like, "All right." Um, but yeah, no. Let's see. You call for one, and 2 to 3 times you get the wrong one. Oh yeah, for the art. Listen, I grew up in a family where my grandmother would be like, Thomas, Marion, oh, you. I'm like, Michelle. Yeah, I know. I know what your name is. Yeah, that's why you called me everybody in the house but me. Okay. She was a busy woman. Um, I do that though sometimes. I'll be like, Kate, which one am I calling? God damn it, which one are you? My brain is just like, nope, nope. Then they invented pronouns. Core math is the most retarded shit ever. You're absolutely 100% correct. I hate the math that they teach. It makes no sense whatsoever. Takes 3 times as long. It's confusing as shit. I'm like, dude, none of you know how to do mental math. I don't get it. How do you not know how to do mental math? How are you going to survive in this world? Well, we all have computers and calculators. Oh my God. Could you imagine these kids being cashiers in our day when you had to actually like figure out the change? And you'd have that person that, I don't know, like the bill would be like $12.76, and they give you $13 and a penny because they don't want back a whole bunch of change. They want the quarter. That's all they want. They don't want the 2 dimes and the, 4 pennies. They don't want 24 cents. They want 25 cents. So, okay, I'm going to give you a penny. Do you know how many people I worked with that would look at that shit and go, "What am I supposed to do with the penny? What do you mean? Why'd they give me a penny? It came to 20, like, it came to 76 cents. Why'd they give me a penny? Because they don't want a bunch of change. They just want a quarter. But how do I do that? It was beyond them because they weren't taught how to do mental fucking math. And they weren't taught how to work with money. They were taught, oh, swipe the card. Oh, good. I can swipe the card. I can scan this and I can hand you a receipt. Have a nice day. Being a cashier, when I was a cashier, involved so much more than that. So much more. My house looks like creativity. 4 days off for them. I got magic sand on the floor, a whole bunch of cut up paper. The paper VR headset that looks pretty great. Nice. Oh, that's awesome. You made a paper VR headset. That's cool. That's one of the most precious things to see that light coming into a kid's eyes when they get something that they're trying to do or learn. Yeah, especially when they've battled for it. Henry the fucking eighth. Good evening, my lady. Good evening to you. Just popping in to say hi. To say, "Ay up, ay up." All right, ay up, sweet cheeks. So, what are you from? Like, what is that place? Greenwich? In where in England is that? Ay up, love. Well, later in life, I found out some nicknames given to me as a young child by some family because of my idiosyncrasies back then. Yeah, not going to repeat them here. Listen, my grandmother called me Stragla. I was her little witch. I mean, I didn't know what that meant most of my young life, and that's all she called me. That and son of a bitch. Or struns. You know what a struns is? It's a piece of shit. Strunzla. That's what she used to call me. So imagine being called a piece of shit in Italian your entire childhood and not knowing it. And then you find out and you're like, you look at the person, you're like, really? She's like, what? You weren't easy. You think that. You think I wasn't easy. Okay. They thought I was hard to raise because they had never had, a grandchild. Nobody had kids in my family at that time. I was I was the one they waited for 14 years. They were all like, they expected this perfect little being to come out and just come out and be perfect. And that wasn't going to happen. The expectations put on me before I was even born are ridiculous. I was never going to live up to the image that they had in their head of this perfect child. So I tried. I can't say I didn't give it didn't give it my best. I did. If they're disappointed in me, well, they can go fuck themselves. I'm over it. Oh man, I never knew until a boy came second. Fucking runner in the belly. I said, if this isn't a boy, we're screwed more than what got us here. Yeah, Connor was never still. Katie, all I had to do to put Katie to sleep when I was pregnant was walk. Because the motion would just knock her out. But then, of course, I would lay down and go to sleep, and this bitch would wake up and get the hiccups for hours. Katie was my hiccup baby. She would get the hiccups for 2 to 3 hours while I'm laying there going, I just want to go to sleep. But no, my entire stomach is it's like because they don't get hiccups the way we do. They get like fast hiccups. And it was just, but no, Connor was all over. That's why he wound up with the damn cord around his neck 3 times because he wouldn't stay still. He was always turning. Every time I went to the doctor, they were like, he turned again. I know. Yes, I watch him as he just decides to swim in my belly because he didn't care. He just pushed shit out of the way. He just round and round and round. But yeah. But I think part of that was that I used to sing to him all the time, and I used to get up and I'd dance to music with, I'd have special headphones on my belly so that he can enjoy it. That's why now if I get up and I dance, he's right there. He does not miss out on an opportunity to dance with mom ever. And he's not that kid that's like, "Oh, mom, I don't want." He's like, "Yeah, all right, let's go." Like he's like, "Let's dance." Like he's just, but he's not like that with anybody else. Anybody else, he's like, "No, no, no, I'm embarrassed." Not me. With me, he's like, "You want to dance? All right, let's dance." I love my son. I told him the other day, I was like, "You will never understand how much I love you until you have your own. You will never get it. You will never understand how much I love you and how much that can hurt. So, be tender with mom. Like, be a little gentler because when you say something and you think you could just brush it off because you can brush it off, I can't because you cut right to the heart of me." And he was like, "I get that." And he is. He's understanding that more as he gets older. Uh, don't be like me, chatting. Oh my God, Heidi, do you know how many times I got kicked last night from YouTube? I was so angry. So angry. Every time I would type up something to put in chat and then boop, gone. And I'm like, oh, the whole thing would go down. And it only happens in YouTube. That's the only time it happens. Doesn't happen when I'm using StreamYard. It doesn't happen when I'm in Rumble. It only happens in YouTube. We were watching Nick last night, and even when it was like, he goes, "This is what happens," that it just boop, gone. Be in the middle of doing something, all of a sudden, doop, gone, 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 gone. And I don't know why. I don't know why it keeps doing that. I've done everything I can to fix this goddamn computer, and it's just YouTube. Heidi, whoa, I'm sorry for your uterus. Salud. You should feel bad for Lass's uterus. I mean, 2 sets of twins. That's oof. Dear God. I think about it. I'm like, oh my God, I was a twin, but my mother, she barely showed at all. She had a flat stomach until she was 9 months pregnant. I mean, that's how malnourished we were because my sister was already dead and I was only like this teeny little peanut of a thing. So she didn't get a belly. She only popped when she was 9 months pregnant. And even then, like I have the pictures, she does not look heavily pregnant. She looks like she's maybe 5 months pregnant. And she was 9.5 months pregnant with twins. So yeah, no, that was not a good pregnancy for her. First cashier job was in my parents' small business. No register, just a cash box. Oh, that was like in the gas station. I had those. I had the cash box in the drawer in the file cabinet under the gun. Like that's where it was. I had many nicknames. They're usually dripping in sarcasm. I know parents come up with the weirdest shit. My mom called us all lice. Oh, in Spanish my entire childhood. Not until I was 19, working at a daycare, checking somebody's hair and yelling, "Oh no." Then I figured out what my mom's pet name for us really meant. I yelled and I realized after I said it, wait, that's what my mom called us. Oh my God. Do you know that I didn't know what a nitpicker was? I didn't know what nitpicking meant. I knew that the concept of saying somebody was nitpicking meant that they were very like carefully just picking little itty bitty things apart and whatever. I didn't know what a nit was. We didn't call it that. We called them, lice or like head bugs. I never got them. My grandmother was very, very, oh, look, oh, you're scratching your head. What's the matter? Sit down, go get the comb, and then sit down. And we would get like the little, it's almost like a flea comb, the lice comb. And it was white. And let me tell you something, I used to live for those moments because I would sit in that chair and she would very carefully for like an hour, gently as could be, go hair by hair by hair. And it felt so good. I would sit there just like just drool coming down, like every muscle completely relaxed. And she never found one bug. But God help you if you scratched your head, you had to be like, no, no, no. I was thinking, like I wasn't actually itchy. I was just thinking. But if you scratch your head and like she was, you're itchy, sit, 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 sit. Yeah, because that was not gonna happen. My hair was long. Like, she was not dealing with lice. We had so many kids in school. I can't tell you. In Catholic school, there was not that much lice. But then again, we had a lot less kids. But once I started teaching in public school, it was every day was like decision making time, especially like around winter when the lice outbreaks were the worst. That's when I wore a lot of very severe hair buns because it was like, no, not this girl. Like I'd pull like that severe, severe bun, have the bun itself covered in something, like have like a bow or something so nothing gets near it, and completely slick all my hair down with gel so that nothing could get in there. It was, oh, that was the biggest fear because they'd be like, oh, lice outbreak. Oh my God. No, please, no. It was the worst. Um, but yeah, no, it's funny that she used to call you that because I didn't know what nitpicking was. And then when I found out, I was like, ew. I was like, that's so gross. You like call somebody a nitpicker. Oh, you're just nitpicking now. Now I'm like picturing you like a monkey taking the freaking bugs out one at a time on a fellow chimp. It's like, ugh. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Well, Ditz was one. Another was along the same lines, but crass. Yeah, I know. I know. Wait, there were so many. My uncle used to call me Bishadil. You know what a Bishadil is? It's a dick. That's what it is. And it's a little dick at that. So he used to call me little dick all the fucking time. You're just a little dick. Thanks a lot. I don't know if he meant like I looked like one or I had the personality or one or I was just being one. I don't know, but that's what he called Bishadil all my life. He still calls me Bishadil. And I'm like, can you not? He's like, what? That's just your name. No, that's not my name. That's not my name. Not my name. You want me to call you asshole? Because I can. Like, Puffer said my girl just fucking slept my whole pregnancy and made me puke every 2 hours. Aw. But I got sleep in. Little boy, I got big purple scars and no sleep. Won't let him forget it ever. I win. Oh yeah, we always win. I love that when my son like really gets it. I'm like, really? This is how you treat me? This is how you treat me? I carried you for how many months? I went through how much hell? I almost freaking like died of sepsis for you. I got stretch marks for you. Really? Really? Like, mm-mm. And I don't care. People are like, oh, I hate stretch marks. I don't give a fuck. Those stretch marks are there for a reason. I went to battle, bitch. And I produced 2 beautiful babies. You don't like it? Don't look. Started happening in Rumble for me last night. Yeah, Rumble's been fine for me. It's this thing that's just crazy. YouTube does it several times each stream to me. It must not want what little I say to be seen. No, I think it's just YouTube is just asshole. Hey, Cap, you're back. I'm about to wrap up because I've been going for almost 4 hours and I need to eat. And my mother left, so I have an opportunity to eat unmonitored. Plus, she just told me that they're going out, so everybody's on their own for dinner. Like, oh, that's nice. Last set, I loved being pregnant with both sets. Up until the last set, I was 39 weeks begging them to take them out. Doctor said, nah, they must need to gain a little more fat. We'll let them be. It's every pregnancy. I loved my pregnancies, but those last 2 weeks, man, between having to pee all the time and then nothing comes out to the point where you stand up and you're like, okay, you walk out of the bathroom, you got to turn around and walk right back in. To never seeing your feet, you can't sleep comfortably. And just the fact that you're just like, I just want it to be over. Like, I just want to be able to get up without the 1, 2, 3. Huh? uh, when I got on the floor when I was pregnant with Katie to get something under the couch for my grandmother, it never dawned on me that I wouldn't be able to get up. But your whole center of gravity is shot. So I was like, why can't I get like I couldn't even like I was on all fours, which that's pretty much how I got pregnant. Um, but I was on all fours trying to get up and I couldn't get my torso to go backwards to get up and just be on my knees. Like no matter how much I pushed with my arms, my body wouldn't fucking do it. Every time I start going up, my belly would just boom pull me right back down. And I was like, "Oh, this sucks." And my girl said, just roll over. And I'm gonna be a turtle. How am I gonna get up? Like you gonna pick me up? No. It took forever to get up out of that position. I felt so helpless though. I was like, "Oh my god, I've never felt like this." Even with a friggin' cast on my leg, I was able to get up and down off the floor. Nope. That belly was like, "Nope, bitch, you ain't going nowhere. Like, we're just gonna stay here. We're gonna swing. Look, you're a pendulum now. Isn't that fun?" Like, "Oh yeah, great. Let's swing everything. Just the boobs and the belly." And I was just like, I don't know how to function with any of this. Like, this is so much. It's so much. And it's not even like just that because you got that baby in there. So you can't bend a certain way because there's baby in the way. So it's like your waist is no longer bendy. It's just, you're just one big chunk. I was like, but yeah, it was fun. It made for some great stories. That's a cool hat, Jimmy. Don't touch it. My mom says I have lice. Yep. What used to be really funny? Hey, kitty cat, what's up? What was funny was we had the one black kid in my class, Malik, and there was an outbreak of lice in my class, and I didn't get it because my grandmother was very, vigilant about it, and everybody else is like pulled their hair is pulled back, and he's just like la 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 la, and he was like, "I feel bad for you, white people." I was like, "What?" He said, "Black people don't get lice." I was like, "What?" He said, "We don't." He said, "We do they don't like our hair, so we don't get it. The majority of black people do not get lice." I was like, "That can't be true." He was like, "No, it's something about like the way our hair is." And I was like, he said, "The whiter you are, the more likely you're gonna get lice." He was like, because they really, really like smooth, um, that smooth, like the smooth hair. And like when we went to high school, there was an outbreak, and I remember I went and I was in class with Malik, and I said, "Oh," I was like, "Oh, I have to pull my hair back." He was like, I don't." And he had dreadlocks, and I was like, "Really? Even with the dreads, you won't get them?" He was like, "No." He was like, "Lice don't like black hair." I was like, "Damn." He was like, "You want them not get lice? Let your hair get dirty for a couple days." He was like, "It likes clean white hair." I was like, "Shut up." He was like, "No, it's true." It's like, "My mom's a nurse. I'm telling you." I was like, "I can't go without washing my hair." He was like, "See, then you're gonna get lice." I didn't, Malik. Just so you know, wherever you are, I'm sending you out that message telepathically. But yeah, that was news to me. I didn't know that. He could have been gaslighting me the whole fucking time. I wouldn't know. But that always held true in my kindergarten classes. The only ones that got the lice were the little white kids. And they would get it like a ton of, they'd have the eggs and everything else. Nope. They were the only ones. There's stretch marks, but then there's literal scars. I know exactly where I was when he did it. Little blessing of Aw. Yeah. But like Katie gave me kidney stones because she kicked my kidneys so freaking much when I was pregnant with her. And Connor gave me the damn Connor gave me Hashimoto's. So my thyroid is fucked. It is what it is. I would sacrifice both all over again for both of them. Scott said I have to go. Thanks, Shelly. All right, honey. Have a good one. Look, I'm only 5 minutes behind. Have a wonderful day. Hopefully, see you later if Winning does a stream, which I'm sure he will. Yay! A fellow sepsis sister. Stomach exploded during COVID. Spewed up 2 pints. Good times. Oh, lovely. No, Ellie's had it. I've had sepsis. I had sepsis twice. Once when I was after I had Connor because my C-section didn't go well. We thought it did, but apparently it didn't. And then later when I wound up with Pseudomonas and staph running through my body. That was just 2 years ago. So come a long way since then. Full term for twins is 36 weeks. Yep. 40 weeks full term for singleton, and I went 39 weeks. Yeah, see, that was what bothered me about my mother because she was 42 weeks. In 1974, you had the baby when you had the baby. They were like, oh, I guess we miscalculated. They didn't miscalculate. She knew she had sex one fucking time. So she knew how far along she was. And then she gave birth in under a minute. Literally went, she was like, something like, I'm having these little pains. Doctor said, let me check you. And she just shoved me right out. I shot out like a bullet. The doctor said if she's lucky that he played football in high school and college because otherwise he never would have caught me. He ran from the other side of the room and caught me in midair. Oh, Lass is phenomenal. Crazy what our bodies can do. It's true. It's true. We make little lives, man. We make little lives. Or what they can do to us. Yeah. I first wanted to cook 41 in a few days. Yeah, see, I gave birth to both my kids within 2 days of their due date. Katie was, she was a natural childbirth, but it took a lot of induction to get her out on that day because she had to come out because it was killing me because I had preeclampsia and my blood pressure was so high that they just thought I was gonna stroke out and I'd be in a coma and that'd be it. So they kept me for 5 days in the hospital till I gave birth. But for Connor, I just remember he was just so big. And I just remember the doctor that birthed Katie, the one that delivered Katie, just took a look at me, hadn't seen me in 11 years. And I remember you. He looked at Bill. He goes, oh, that's coming out today. That was all she wrote. He had them do the ultrasound. They didn't see the cord around the neck in the ultrasound. But he said there's no way that head is coming out of there. He was like, you're not. Mm-mm. He was like, there's too many ways this could go wrong. He was like, and they did have full rooms. Like they had no room for an emergency that day. And he was just like, we're going to play this safe. Like you're going to get a C-section. I'm like, okay. I was just happy I was going to be able to go home with a baby instead of every time you go to the doctor, they're like, you're not ready yet. Go home. That's the worst feeling. It's the worst feeling because you're like, oh, today's the day, right? No. Oh. Anyway. Farewell, Henry the fucking Eighth. Farewell. I get it. First, was induced and I was overdrugged on a spinal. My kid's heartbeat was fading. Yeah. And seeing it was all fine, not fine. I know. Well, what we do for them. I never wanted to get a C-section, but it was what was best for him. Second, I said, fuck your meds. He came quick. There you go. This sucker's coming out. Yeah. I miss it though. I miss being pregnant. I miss the whole baby days, even though it was a lot of poop and a lot of throwing up and making bottles and sterilizing everything. And it was a lot of work, but God, it was joyous. I don't think I stopped smiling, even when I was dead on my feet. All right. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I love you very much, and I appreciate you indulging me in my topics. But since we talked about time, now it's time to go. So take care of each other, take care of yourselves, love everybody you can, get as many hugs in as you can. I will see you tonight if you come by Winnings, which I hope you do. And other than that, mwah, I love you, and I will see you in the funny papers. Bye.
Jersey girl, I know that you're a Jersey girl inside. 4 a.m. at a diner, stop singing, living on a
And doggone it, people like me.
I'm thinking maybe you're a Jersey girl with all those highlights in your hair. No other girl can move like you. We pump our fists, damn right it's true. And I don't care what they might say, they'll never get us anyway. So be my Jersey girl, and take a little ride with me tonight. And let's get dirty, girl. I know that you're a Jersey girl inside. The way you turn it up, turn me on, and then you take it off. Make it hot, make it loud, we'll wake the whole town. Jersey girl, I know that you're a Jersey girl inside.
Who the fuck starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
Be